are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Brother C. Lee. I am joined with Brother Turnbull and Big Sex. You got the original lineup. You got the original Dez, Prince, and Andre lineup.
And we started on time.
And we start. There we go. We started
on time.
What's it?
Brother do not need this woman dialing in on us again.
That's right. That's right. We look at. We do not want Lady Ike to show up. I'm gonna get it for that. So what I want to do is we want to say what's up to Sister April, who was first in the chat. What's up, Sister April Washington? She's coming in from Tampa. You know, we got our brother Detroit from Detroit. What's up, brother Andre? Good morning or an afternoon. What up, Doe?
Yes, what up, Doe? Yes.
Hey, wait. Hold on. Say it again, Big Sex.
What up, Doe?
There you go. Want to say good morning to Sister. You know, we'll do it like this till we get ready. So good morning to Sister Cassandra and everybody in ATL. Always a good morning. And from Denver, from Brother Nick Felton. Prince is slowly but surely starting to crash out on the revolution at this time. Well, somebody has done the reading. What's happening, Sister Lori Johnson? Good morning to you. Always good to see Brother Rockabosh up in here, the Purple Gods and Earth on this beautiful Saturday morning. What's happening? Was that music? I am official.
I am Mel official.
I am Mel official. Appreciate it. I don't know if you knew. I don't know if you knew here or not, but you know, we are happy to have you. Sorry that Prof Duff, our regular conductor of the train, is not here to greet y'all, but she is out, you know, doing some things, taking care of some things. And so, like I said, I'm gonna start calling us the original front line until somebody else comes up with a better name. We are the original front line, right? What's happening, Sister Christina from Minneapolis, always showing up. LTKK, there we go. He said back. That's it at the fog machine. That's it. We were backstage arguing, right? We was arguing about who was gonna slide down the pole. That's what we was arguing about, right? Coming in from San Francisco, what's up, EA? Always love to see TP the Libra. Good morning, good Saturday morning to you. There we go, the Boombox Guru. What's happening? Welcome in. There we go. We got the Professor Arlene O. What's up? There we go. We glad to see you back in the lurk. Let me see here. Got Lisa Williams from Houston. You know, not only do I love the controversy and 1999 bootleg from Houston, I got to spend New Year's Eve going from 98 to 99 with Prince in Houston at the old Compact Center. So yeah. Got to see him. He did Audie Lane and the Negro Black National Anthem both to ring in the New Year. So that was a cool. What's up, Sister Dorothy Edwards? Zuzu Pedals. That's just one of the coolest names. Zuzu Pedals. And look who it is. I knew she wasn't gonna be. Look at that. She gonna bring. Oh, let's move on. Oh, got to give it up to Diva for Justice. All of the great work that Diva for Justice do. If y'all don't know, every time Prof Duff curates a symposium, right, she is always shouting out and asking people to donate to Diva for Justice. I hope I'm getting that right. So Diva for Justice, always appreciate all the work that you're doing. Sister Charles, always great. Another one from Houston coming in, and I got to highlight young brother Theo. It is always good to see young brother Theo. He's heading down to Portland today, the Portland Pride. Okay, and he's performing with a dance group. Get your thing on, brother Theo. We know it. Hey, brother Theo, video, take pictures. Put it up somewhere. If it's on social media, I won't see it, but Brother Turnbull and Big Sexy, they'll tag me in on it. They may email it to me. I think we got, there we go. Brother Man Ray 10, the El Trio Grande. There we go. He making me hungry because every time I go to get I get the Cordis Grande. So that's my Spanish. Grande means the big thing or whatever I order. Let me see. I think that's everybody. Wait a minute. That young Hogum, I think that's what that is. Let me know if I said that right.
I'm not even trying that one.
There we go. And always happy to see Heavenly Games up in the building. What's up, Brother Brian? Always see 2 a.m. There we go.
2 a.m. Damn.
Let's see here. He is okay. Australia. Okay. There we go. There we go. Now we got coming up the brother with the $1 million smile. There we go.
There he is.
There's the 42nd anniversary of Prince's second single, Let's Go Crazy, came out 42 years ago. There we go. Wait a minute. I gotta say it right. This is the DE68A show. What's up, brother? DE68A. If you're not subscribed to the DE68A YouTube channel, you are missing out. That's all I got to say. I think, I almost missed somebody. Sister Chanel, what is happening? She inside the air. It's okay. The air choking y'all in DC. Well, we glad that y'all are inside with us. Got to give it up for brother JD Washington. What's happening, brother JD?
Hey.
Purple cat confetti. Got everybody's favorite meme. And I'ma just have to do it like this since I ain't got no button or nothing to push. Love sexy. There you go. Greetings to Sister Love Sexy. What did Sister Christina say? Saw Eric Lee's with St. Paul last night at the Dakota. It was incredible. Did new songs from LP Music, F Deluxe, and the Family. There you go, Funk Friday. And you know, one of my favorite bootlegs is Prince's stint at the Dakota. I think it's 2013. He was at the Dakota. If anybody hadn't checked it, I want to say it was 2013 because I remember it was between we had that long 3-year break before we got artificial age. So he was at the Dakota, and so the bootleggers was on their job. Then I ain't gonna lie, like he was at the Dakota that weekend. I think I had that bootleg the next weekend. I probably shouldn't be admitting to that, but
was that the one where Ronald Brunner Jr. was auditioning on drums? He was sitting into.
Now I got to go back and see. I'm not sure. I gotta go check. I go check because I know it was Third Eye Girl and then the larger MPG band.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so it may have been okay. So wait a minute. I almost forgot. Anna B. What's happening, Anna B? There we go. The original front line. There we go. The Reverend, the Philosopher, and the Lawyer. I like that. The original front line. The Reverend, the Philosopher, and the Lawyer. We're going to have to keep that. Bam! Brother Scott McCullen. There we go. We love to see you too, brother. Always happy to see you. And thank you, Brother Scott, for all the wonderful work that you did, all the wonderful clips, and just artistry and editing and shooting that you did. You are a part of so many of our lives with your work. And I just want to say thank you for all the work that you did, brother. And I also got to give it up right quick to Sister Carol Brooks. I think we caught up. All right, so now let's get into. There we go. So as Prof. Does says, look, we know that this world is crazy. We know that things are out there happening that shouldn't be happening, but we gonna do what Prince did, and we just gonna keep being as positive as we can. We gonna keep being as loving as we can, and we're just going to believe that we're going to emanate enough love and positivity and justice so that we can make the world what it should be. Welcome to What Did Prince Do This Week? We are here every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. I know anyway, I was going to talk about they about to pass. They trying to pass the law about getting away with no daylight saving time. We'll say that for the salon. I want to see how y'all feel about I didn't know that was an issue for so many people. And I didn't know that changing the clock twice a year was an issue for so many people. But clearly it is, as Congress is trying to pass a law and just keep us at daylight saving time forever. So we'll jump on the salon. I don't want our timekeeper to get on us. So we're here every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. This is a very slow read of Brother Duane Tudahl's Prince Studio Sessions book series, right? Through an interactive weekly online book club and Saturday salon, echoing the spirit of the Harlem Renaissance. So we are here and we're reading the book. Let me everybody hold if you got your book. We are reading. This is the book we're holding. You can have the paperback or the hard copy. It does not matter which one you have. And we are reading Saturday. We're reading Sunday to Saturday. We're not going day to day, but Sunday to Saturday. So as Prof. Duff say, don't be slow in figuring that out. If you want to know the reading schedule, that QR code, scan that QR code with your phone or go to the Bitly link there. And then that way you can keep up with us and read at the same time we're reading. What did Prince do this week? Then we just held up. You don't need the paperback. So now you can hit the hype button. You can hit the subscribe and notification button. We want you to help the algorithm. Look, y'all, last couple of weeks, we got up to like 400 and 500. So thank you, Brother Theo. Brother Theo is keeping up. Sister Kim may have checked out on us for the week. So thank you, Brother Theo. We'll let you be the honorary timekeeper for the day. So, you can like and subscribe. Let the algorithm look. Prof. Duff has curated this wonderful, wonderful space for us. And I just enjoy all the great minds. I enjoy Brother Turnbull. I enjoy Big Sexy when Michael Dean is here. Rest in peace, Pretty Ricky. Also when Brother Ted from Ted Talks Base is on. All the people in the chat. There are so many wonderful reasons to be here. And so we just want people to know that we are here and we are giving Prince his due. What's up, Brother Melvin Rush? Glad to see you sneaking in there. So the estate of Prince Rogers Nelson is not affiliated, associated, or connected with the What Did We Do This Week book club series, nor has it endorsed or sponsored the What Did We Do This Week book club series. Further, the estate of Prince Rogers Nelson has not licensed any of its intellectual property to the producers, advertisers, or directors of What Did Prince Do This Week book club series. We got just one community guidelines. We choose to be a community, even though we disagree. And I want to say this. I'm passionate about Prince, but I want people to know. Look, I'm from Mississippi, so I get loud. I don't want anybody to take offense at me getting loud. I mean, I know. Look, I ain't certified. I'm not. So I don't want anybody to think that when I get loud, I'm getting angry. Look, I came from a family that if you weren't loud, you weren't gonna get hurt. I'm just kind of so I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, brother, I'm just passionate. But I always say this: Prince was one of the few people who understood that human beings are pie charts with multiple slices, and he was not only going to experience and explore all of his pie slices, he was not going to allow anybody to limit the number of pie slices that he thought or knew that he had. With that saying, everybody comes through Prince through a different pie slice. I come in through the blues and rock pie slice. Brother Turnbull and Big Sexy, they may come in through another pie slice. You may come in through the R&B and funk pie slice. It doesn't matter what slice you come in. We all love Prince. We all hanging out. And by the way, if somebody say they don't dig a song, that don't mean they don't dig you. Right, and we know that Onzo Ryan catch a lot of strays around here. We don't mind the people who love Onzo Ryan. Hey, I remember when I found out there were people who didn't like Adore. I thought they was an alien with two heads, but that let me know, and I'll say it again: one person's love sexy is another person's rainbow children. So act accordingly, love each other, and just treat everybody with kindness, because that's what Prince did. All right, this is, week number 181. Week 29 and 19. She's done 181 of these, y'all. Man, and remember, come for the 200 episode. Somebody gonna get naked. You better come for the 200 episode so you can see what's gonna happen for the 200 episode.
I'm sorry, there's going to be nudity on the 200th episode?
we gonna be looking like the Love Sexy album cover. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry, Purple Cat Confetti. I'm gonna try to see if I can fix it. Purple Cat Confetti say I'm echoing. So am I echoing on you guys?
No, I don't hear you.
No,
okay,
we good.
All right. So this week we had 6 studio sessions with 5 new songs. Man, we had a lot happening this week. Look at what we did. The Cross, right? On Sunday, The Cross. Everybody want what they don't got. 2 new songs. Then he revisited Eggplant, Splash, Slow, Who Love, did that for Propped Up, and did the Dream Factory album. Not much happened on Monday, and then on Tuesday came back to Sign of the Times. Then Blanche, yeah, and then If I Could Get Your Attention, and then the next day had a lot going on. Yeah, Neon Telephone, cassette copies, Sign of the Times, instrumental. I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man, new version and instrumental. And then we had, oh my goodness, we had Joy and Repetition. Just had to take a moment of silence for Joy and Repetition. And then we had the Dream Factory album. And then we had Slow Love and Train. And so now we are getting ready to get our first reading Sunday. And so, Brother Turnbull or Big Sexy, which one of y'all want to take the Sunday reading?
I'll go.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Before we go, though, before we get into it, Arthur, you're in Oakland, right?
I am actually outside of Phoenix, Arizona.
By the time
grew up in Oakland,
Phoenix, she'll be right. Okay, that's not that. You grew up in Oakland, as did I. I'm older than you, but do you remember the cable access channel Soul Beat?
Absolutely.
That's where I got Prince from. They were playing "I Want to Be Your Lover" video. I'm like, what the hell is this? And
do you remember the California Music Channel?
Yes,
that's where I came in.
My man, Rick. His name was Rick something.
The controversy video. Visually, that's where I came in. The controversy video.
Hold on one second. One second. Much love, the lady cab driver. We gonna send out prayers and good wishes. Sorry you got that lettuce bug, but we glad that you here with us. She said that'll teach her to eat healthy. That's funny, hilarious. I like the fact that your spirits are still up. But hey, we you got our prayers, you got our thoughts, but we are so glad that you're here with us. You guys, go ahead, guys.
No, because I'm about to take the train all the way off the track. But I got this great coming of age story about a listening party that I had.
Wait a minute, hold on one second. Hold on one second. I got to do it.
She is here.
There she is.
Excuse me.
We got Kim and Duff lurking in the chat. It's a wrap. Let's get to this reading.
Did you tip in late?
Because they're gonna.
Wait, Arthur, go ahead, man. Then we'll
go ahead, and then we'll let Big Sexy.
Okay, so well documented on Music Snob shows that we've done and everything. I have a sister 10 years older than me. She's the one that played Prince for me. But on my own, I came into it through Controversy and the Controversy video, and it was the visual of Prince and Des Dickerson as a dual lead and lead guitarist combo that I was very familiar with because I listened to a lot of rock music. That being said, there's one of those situations where I was with my mom. I grew up with my mom as a single parent, and she took me to her coworker's barbecue. And if you're a child of a single mom and you're under 13 years old, you go where your mom goes on situations like that, right? And usually you're the youngest person by decades at the place. Well, the host had a younger daughter. The daughter was 2 years older than I was. Really pretty girl. Just, but there's no connection like that. Because I mean, it's like, how Denise Huxtable would say on the Cosby Show, those years are like dog years, you know what I mean? But she, so we wound up in her room, and she played, and I don't know how we got to this part, but she played the What Time Is It album, and then she played the Controversy album. Just all the way through, flipped the vinyl over the whole shop. So at some point, listening to the music, I needed to use the restroom. And so she says, yeah, well, the bathroom is right outside to the right. So I go, and Celia, I ever tell you the story?
No.
Okay. So I go use the restroom, and I'm washing my hands, and it was a setup where the door to my right, I'm in front of the sink, commode to my immediate left, and the bathtub shower with the shower curtain. All right. So washed my hands and everything. And it's the first time I really turned, and the shower was tiled. You know, you've got the tiles and you've got the grout in the middle. But on the wall, she had the controversy poster, the poster that came with the album, taped to the tile.
Right.
In the shower.
In the shower.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of look and I'm thinking, and the thing I can't get out of my head is, how does the poster not get wet?
Young Arthur.
Because you figured, you're taking a bath. Okay, I was like, all right, well, maybe she just doesn't take showers. And I'm like, well, but I mean, if you're taking a bath, and presumably you're taking a bath in hot water, there's steam. It's in the and I went over to the poster was perfect, and I couldn't figure out how she kept the poster dry. So, and I went back into the room, and she's kind of looking at me, and I'm kind of looking at her. I didn't say anything. She didn't say anything. We kept on listening to the controversy. And to this day, I have no idea. Did she take the thing off the wall? Did she fold it up? Because the thing was immaculate and put it back on the wall. What did her parents say? Never found out, never knew. But that's how I listened to the entirety of both albums. And ever since then, I was like really locked in.
I'm going to only say this. The part of the story when you said you walked into the room, you walked back into the room, she looked at you, you looked at her. There's something in me that says you missed something. That's all I'm going to say. Let's get on to the read.
Yeah. He was young. It's cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into this. Sunday, July 13th, 1986. We have The Cross, Basic Tracking Mix. Everybody Wants What They Don't Got, Basic Tracking Mix. Eggplant Mix, Splash Mix, with overdubs. Slow Love with overdubs and mix. Dream Factory album restructure, crossfades mix at Sunset Sound. This is Studio 3, 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock, booked for a lockout. Prince producer, artist Prince, engineers Coke Johnson and Susan Rogers. My girl, my personal friend, Susan Rogers.
Dr. Rogers.
I stand corrected.
There you go.
No,
I messed up the last time. Go ahead.
All right. If we're going to look at the canon of Prince material, the extraordinary stuff is the stuff he knew was extraordinary. And generally, the factor that would make something extraordinarily versus leading it to be stashed away in the vault would be the lyrical content. So when he had something important to say, like on the song Sign of the Times or The Cross, or anything he considered to be a cornerstone of his current view or perspective, Pop Life is a good example. Songs with important lyrics to him, like Purple Rain, he would spend a lot more time on. By a lot more time, I mean he might take 2 days to do this song rather than one. Quote from Dr. Rogers. And now we're going back into the dicta by Mr. Turnbull. Think about Arthur. By Mr. Tudahl. Shaken by this morning's earthquake, Prince arrived at the studio with a sketch of a song that would convey his faith and the comfort he gathered from his relationship with God. The cross was his response to someone needing solace. Soon, all of our problems will be taken by the cross. Footnote 28. The idea of a man trying to bear the cross has appeared in the previous year in his song Heaven. Does anybody remember that song?
So now?
The song Heaven? I don't remember that song.
Well, I didn't get your question. Say it again.
Do you remember the song Heaven? He appeared had appeared in the previous year in his song Heaven.
Yeah, you know it.
You know it.
Yeah. You just don't.
I wish you
locked right in.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this directly detailed how much comfort he got from his views of Jesus. The song starts with a quiet, intimate guitar, possibly inspired by the opening notes from Santana's track Samba Pati, and Prince's statement of the problem that needs to be solved, as well as the solution that God can bring to the issues. The track grows with the addition of drums, bass, sitar, and a distorted guitar, accented with multiple layers of his background vocals, building to a large crescendo. The track appears to be a flawless, passionate plea and impressed many of those around him. The cross was pretty powerful when you heard that, remembers Wendy. I thought his guitar solo was astonishing. Inspiration can come from a variety of sources, and Jill Jones reflects on where she feels the origin of the song was born. Are we doing the Jill Jones quote?
Yeah, let's do the Jill Jones quote.
Right. It was after we got paid our Purple Rain money. I went and bought him a ruby cross. It was really beautiful, and he never wore it. He also gave me a cross as well. We had a very strained relationship there with a lot of dependency and a lot of this interdependence. It's funny because he wrote the song The Cross on my birthday. Aww. I had a birthday party and his father, John L., came to it because they were both supposed to come. Prince didn't come, but he stayed in the studio that night and wrote The Cross. So if that means anything subconsciously, maybe it was a subliminal thing. That was a quote from Jill.
Mm-hmm.
Susan Rogers was also affected by the track, but remembers that there was an issue while recording the song. The drums on The Cross weren't steady, they were sped up. I thought for sure he was going to redo the drums on it because he played the drums on it all in one take, and it just progressively became faster. It really bugged me because I thought I was sloppy. I thought it was sloppy. I was hoping that he'd redo it, but he was satisfied with it, and he knew what he was doing, so who might argue? Prince's ability to bounce between two emotions was evident on this date. The Cross is one of his most deeply profound songs about his spiritual beliefs, while Everybody Want What They Don't Got is a jovial pop song that references the Bible's 10th commandment, thou shalt not covet. The song doesn't take itself too seriously, using comical names like Sweet Sarah Succotash. Oh, God. And amusing situations to relay his message about envy. The song contains his Epiphone guitar, Mirage, and Fairlight keyboards, and a variety of sound effects, car horn, brake skiddings, and bells, possibly from the Fairlight, and 9 layers of vocals over a foundation of real drums. Within 5 hours, he was ready to mix Everybody Want What They Don't Got. I love that title. The songs may have 2 different tones, but ultimately, they're both about wanting something beyond the physical. For the final 7 hours of the session, Prince updated the mix for Eggplant. He also blended Splash and Slow Love with Claire Fisher's orchestral arrangements that had been recorded on July 11th. The updated Slow Love was added to the Dream Factory project, but it doesn't appear that Splash was ever included in that collection. Status, The Cross, 449, was placed on Dream Factory and Crystal Ball and was finally released on Sign of the Times on March 30th, 1987. Everybody Want What They Don't Got, 2 minutes and 2 seconds, remained unreleased until it found a home on the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe Edition in 2020. Susanna remembered that she and Prince paged through the Los Angeles Times during this week. Many of the stories they found, which included President Reagan's Star Wars anti-missile program, the growing AIDS crisis, the investigation of January space shuttle explosion, stories of drug abuse in the inner city were all big news stories. These blended with Minneapolis Star Tribune and their reporting about a street gang called the Disciples. He turned all these topics into what many considered his most vital social commentary to date. The song would become the title track to his next release, although as of this day, it was just a collection of newspaper headlines. Because of the earthquake, Prince and Susanna flew home to Minneapolis, but Prince quickly turned around and headed back to Los Angeles.
All right, so let's see what you guys' thoughts on what we read about the Cross and everybody want what they don't got. I'll just say quickly, I like the fact that they are bookends, and they are bookends both in how they sound, so they're bookends sonically. Mm-hmm. They're also bookends in how they are treated, as we said in the readings. One takes a very serious approach to it. The other takes a kind of jovial lighthearted, but they both have the same topic and focus, which is what I love about Prince. And for me, the cross, and I can add everyone ones they don't got. The cross was one of the reasons why I wanted to write my book analyzing Prince's lyrics. Like there were lots of them also, but just the first time I heard it, you know, kind of like everybody else on this, being raised with parents and aunts and uncles who were serious about their music. My family, my father was serious about lyricism. You know, my father was a War fan. I don't know how many people know about the group War. So he's a big War fan. He was really big into message music. He was really big into civil rights. So these kind of songs by Prince spoke to me, and to hear that Prince could take his personal experiences and then relate them artistically in a way to give people courage and hope, because that's ultimately what the cross is. It's a song about uplifting courage and hope. And I'll end by saying that the greatest thing for me about Prince is that he never just vented. Now, you may not have always agreed with his solutions, but Prince's lyricism, Prince's art was solutions oriented. And for him, the answer was always love. And he was always trying to find creative ways. And so the cross, as much as it is in Judeo-Christian, I want to be clear, it's anchored in Judeo-Christian ideology, but it's ultimately anchored in love is the most powerful thing that human beings have to make the world better. I'll shut up and let you guys go.
So I like the cross. I like the cross on the album as recorded. I do like the loose drums. It makes it feel like, you know, 3-4 people got into a studio and, you know, there was the count off and then, you know, we hit record. So all of the quote unquote mistakes, you know, make up the personality of the song. I like the cross better, and I like the cross better live, which is to say that I liked it better in the Sign of the Times film, because I never had the opportunity to actually hear him perform the song. The unique thing about Prince as another quote unquote mainstream artist, pop, R&B, you know, rock, is that he was one of the very few that could put Jesus at the front of a song. Usually when that would happen, Christian themes would be played out in either heavy metal music, and now you've got a God versus devil, and it's usually, you know, the devil or Satan himself or some other representative, and then God has to step in. And you know what I mean? There's a whole darkness upside down cross movement to that. And then the other side of that is, of course, R&B, where the church is brought in, and God as the context is sort of wraps itself around the song. But Prince being Prince,
right?
You know, he puts Jesus right in the title.
Yep.
And few could be able to do that. I'm going to say the word convincingly, but that's not really a word that I mean. But few artists would be able to do that and have that be them.
Yep. Have it seem authentic? Is it that closer? Have it seem authentic to them?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it would. I'm trying to think of like my first reaction. Like it made me think, but it did not question or support, you know, my theological belief system at that time. You know, and I didn't grow up in the church.
Right.
I don't skip it, but it's a great song, but it only moves me so far. It doesn't necessarily move the needle.
Right. I like that. All right. Big Sexy, what say you?
You know, I remember when I first heard it the first time, I was at Sac State my second year. And what stands out is the way that it was described just in the book, actually, how the song would build up to all these different things, and you get to the end, and you get the layered chorus that was so, for lack of a better phrase, out of place on that album. The way they were layered, and it was just perfect. And then you hear quiet, and they do it again.
Mm-hmm.
They do it again, and I thought it was very moving. Lady Cab Driver put it in the chat. She said, "Silent Times, this is what's going on," and that never occurred to me until she wrote that. You know, because when you think about the lyrics of both songs,
right?
Yeah, they both captured that vibe, and I don't want to drift away from the recorded songs on this day, but when they ask all these questions, he's sitting there looking at the paper.
Right.
Like, what is happening here? I remember vividly when the space shuttle blew up.
Right.
It was just, I watched it live, and it was unbelievable.
Right.
It was just unbelievable.
Right.
You know, we're watching around the TV in the dorm, like, what just happened here?
Yeah.
You know, we got AIDS is running rampant. You know, and there's so much going on. And when you look back to 1971, same thing. You know, like, what is the deal here? What's going on? And I like things like that. I wouldn't call them message songs. They're songs that hold a mirror up to society. I feel like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And I think both of the songs we're talking about, Silent Times and The Cross, again, The Cross, more for the production than the theological value it brings, but the production really stood out for me on that song.
Right. So anyone, everybody want what they don't got? Any thoughts quickly?
If I could, so TP Lieber in the chat brought up an interesting question that's kind of kicked off a little, some dialogue here, but that later in his career, he changed the title from The Cross to The Christ.
Right.
Yeah, he did.
Right.
And I thought that was really interesting because the cross is a symbol, the Christ is a person.
Right.
And thinking about the one who comes to remove power from the wicked puts it in a much more powerful connotation than the symbol of suffering. As far as I got with it, but that's how I was.
No, I'm with you.
I was like, oh yeah, he did change the name of it, didn't he?
And I know that upset a lot of, well, not a lot of people. Some people upset because Prince would also change lyrics and things. I would say I always put it under this way: you know better, you do better. It's kind of and so what I mean is that when you create art, and this is for anybody, no matter if you create art, right? You create art based on where you are and what you know. If 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years later, you know more, you understand more, you have more knowledge, whatever, you then either create new art that may either correct or contradict the old art, or you go back and you try to edit the old art, right? And so you think about what they've done with Star Wars, right? And they literally redid, and there are Star Wars fans who some like the changes, and there are Star Wars fans who hate the changes, right?
Right here, baby.
There you go. There you go, right? But you know, that's one of and the great thing about being a poet and a short story writer is I literally have a poem. If I'm not mistaken, it's the same poem, but it's published essentially 3 different ways in 3 different publications because I just kept tweaking it. Like, and I didn't, and it's not that I was necessarily embarrassed about the first way it got published, right? I can tell you, I do have some poems that published. I hope don't nobody ever find them, but that's a whole nother discussion, right? But if but you learn some things. So it's one of those things that I think you know better, you do better, or we can't expect the artists that we love to be stuck in time. But again, but if you fell in love with that song, or you fell in love with that painting, or you fell in love with that movie, you don't want them to touch it. So I do understand that as well. But I do think that what happens is sometimes we want to hold an artist in time, still in time, the same way we hold the art. But when it comes to performers, and that performer has to continue performing that song.
Right.
You know, if I wrote a song or I wrote a poem or a short story and I learned later that may not be historically accurate or that may not be ideologically true from where I am now, I'm going to have to negotiate with that thing and how I keep performing. Does that? And I'm going to go to some of the folks in the chat.
Well, that makes perfect sense because, like, with Prince and DMSR,
right?
It was recorded in '82 one way, and when he came along musicology, he said, "I'm not doing it like that.
Right.
I'm going to change a few things up."
Right. So I want to say, I'm glad DE68. And then someone else talked about time. I was talking about heaven. Heaven, Big Sexy, kind of has a erotic city breakdown in it. So if you think about that song, Heaven. So Heaven is. I'm not gonna say it sounds necessarily like. Well, I am gonna say it has a similar or a faint sound to Erotic City. If that helps you jog your memory. Just want to let me see a couple of people here. Definitely a thing. Her gift when could not attend the party. Okay, so folks, let me see here. Simple repetitive tune and drums with his dreamy vocals feel better. So there you go. Let's see. South Africa got the cross released as a. Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that South Africa got the cross released. Okay, like that. Sign of Times Princess. All right, like that. Just going through some folks. Let me see that. There we go. Do you think the song Planet Earth was too? I think it was an attempt. I think that Prince was. I think that regardless of how some may or may not feel about the song, I do think that the lyrics was really Prince's attempt to ask us, what are we doing to the earth?
I see the title Planet Earth, and I'm going to duck for cover in a moment, but my mind goes straight to Duran Duran. This is Planet Earth.
Right. And again, yeah. But I will say to Brother Scott, I think that I know that's not a song that a lot of people like. I actually like it, but yeah, I think that's another for me as a person who goes to Prince's lyrics. Yes, Prince was trying to have a conscious discussion about not only how we're treating the earth, but getting us to see that we all have one area code, and it's Earth. And if we actually learn that we all have just one area code, which is the Earth, maybe we do see ourselves as brothers and sisters. Like Sister Brooke said, that Prince knew the only way was love. Thank you, Sister Kim. Love is the message. Let me see here. I think I wanted to get credit on LTTK. He was amazed when he heard it the first time. Sister Tammy. We gonna bring Sister Tammy on up, although she's a little early. Gonna bring up. Hey, you gonna hang out with us for about 12 minutes before we get started to the slideshow?
Yes, my girl.
Absolutely. What up, Mark Wiggins, Arthur, B. Lee? The pleasure.
So I like this one. It said North Carolina during Prince's heyday in the 80s. You would hear the song God played on Sunday on R&B stations and gospel stations. Never heard the cross play. Like, that's interesting. That's interesting. And I would probably say because of the Purple Rain popularity, people would probably know more about that. And then by the time you get the Sign of the Times, that's the only, I don't know if that's the right answer, but I would say that probably, but it's interesting that God didn't get, and that's why I always love that he did it on the Essence Awards. I love that he played the cross on the Essence Awards. So let's get to one more reading, and then we will. Sorry for everybody in the chat. I'm not getting caught up. Wait a minute, got some high Tammys. Wait a minute, I saw some people giving Tammy some shout outs. Where was it? I'm trying to scroll through. If I found them, I'll put them back up. But yeah, people definitely happy to see you. Oh, there we go.
I can't see the chat, so hi everyone. Hey Tara, I see the little banner there. Hi everybody.
So let's do this. We got 16 minutes, and then we'll get into our great photo. We got a lot of great photos for y'all and things. So what we'll do is, Brother Turnbull,
Got
get
you.
you to read, and I want you to read Lisa Coleman's quote, and then we're going to skip around. And we won't read the whole thing because it's kind of long. So read Lisa Coleman's quote, and then I'll tell you when to jump, if that's okay.
Sounds good. All right. So Tuesday, July 15, 1986, Sign of the Times, which is listed as Sign O of the Times. He did Blanche, and If I Could Get Your Attention, overdubs and mix at Sunset Studio. All-nighter, 2:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. Producer, Prince. Artist, Prince, Jill, possibly Taj Seville, Susan Rogers, and Coke Johnson on the boards. Prince probably felt his greatest challenge was in writing lyrics because he didn't like bad lyrics. And every love song has been written already, and he really held out and paid attention more and more as he grew, wanting to write really good, poetic lyrics. He was so turned on by Joni Mitchell. And it wasn't just the beauty of her music, it was the poetry of her lyrics and the power that lyrics can have. And I think he enjoyed that power. I mean, not just as the mighty Prince, but as a poet who wanted to connect with people, and more specific he can be, the more powerful it seemed to get. With songs like Sign of the Times, where he would be specific and he mentioned real problems. I think that looking at his lyrics is a great study to see somebody who really took it on and beat the challenge. It's incredible. His lyrics are poetry. He really did succeed at the thing he was most afraid of with lyrics, and that's Lisa Coleman. The earthquake, the occasionally volatile relationship he had with Susanna, his issues with the revolution, and the failure of his movie gave him a chance to reflect, explains Susan Rogers. I think that Under the Cherry Moon was catered toward a white audience, talking about rich people in the south of France, and the lead actress was white. And I think that if you look at Sign of the Times, he tried to deliberately write a song about urban issues. Inspired by the newspaper's headlines, Prince created what is considered his most vital statement about society and the struggles of everyone. But unlike The Cross, which suggests that the solution can be with God, Prince offers up a solution to society. Prince offers up a solution to society would be for him to fall in love, get married, and have a baby. If you can't fix the world, fix your corner of the world. The basis for the music dated back to the show they played in Denver 2 weeks earlier, after Under the Cherry Moon was released to horrible reviews. Remembered Wendy? I said that wrong, but all right, here we go. Lisa and I walked into sound check together from the back end of the stadium, and I heard this rhythm, which ended up being Sign of the Times, and I was transfixed by what I was hearing. Now, it's very common to be at a sound check, it's very common to get to sound check and hear drums already being checked or Bobby's LM drum being checked, but this time Prince arrived to the sound check earlier than us, and the drums were up, and Sign of the Times was blaring through the stadium with this massive echo and reverb. That would be incredible to hear. And then I heard the guitar part, that lead line, and I had a physical reaction. Something else was happening here. This is different than what he's done. There's something so minimal and so powerful about just that drum group and that lead line. To hear that at soundcheck blew me away. Want me to keep going?
Yes.
To track the song in the studio, Prince laid down an LM1 and live drum percussion mixture and covered it with a Fairlight and a few other elements, including his voice, which was when the song took a dramatic turn, according to Rogers. When the vocal was done, saying what it had to say, that's when the guitar could take over for the vocal and say the same thing the vocal said, but with short melodic phrases.
Skip that paragraph and go to the next one and begin Sign of the Times.
All right. Sign of the Times was just something that was so stark, and one of the songs he wrote right before the revolution ended. I just always remember how powerful it was, reflected Bobby Z. The way it's so simple and spacey, and the story, getting into the current events with AIDS and the space shuttle blowing up, it gets me to this day. It's always been one of my favorites. He was very aware of the world around us, continued Bobby. We talk often about what was going on. He had strong opinions and hopes, dreams and fears, just like anybody else, but he definitely had a pulse on society. Keep going?
Yes.
With Prince, every time you listen to a song, it's telling a story observed Levi. Even if he wasn't singing, you could just listen to the music and feel that the song would be about, that the song would be about what it's talking about.
Skip that next paragraph and go to the next one. The sound was.
All right. Sorry, what's the next paragraph start?
The sound was deceptively simple.
Thanks. The sound was deceptively simple, but the results were astounding. Prince had made social commentary before on songs like Anti-Christian and Ronnie Talk to Russia, but Sign of the Times was the philosophical cousin to Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, and follows Gaye's suggestion that love is the solution. At the end of the day, when you've got nothing else, the most important thing is love, explains Susanna. It always came down to who was he loving and who was loving him, so he could then be the guy he felt he needed to be. Sign of the Times. Sorry.
You good.
All right. Sign of the Times represented Prince soldiering through a tough time, personally and professionally, witnessed Rogers. There were changes, and it's hard for people to cope with changes. As an artist, he coped with them by pushing forward and writing his way through it. That can go either way. It can yield some of the best work you'll ever do, or it can yield work that is self-indulgent, dispirited, and apathetic. In this case, it yielded some of his very best work. Cool. Keep going.
Yeah,
to balance that out, he also recorded Blanche, an infectious bass, live drums, guitar, keyboard groove that he covered with a rhyming exercise that was at times playful and at other times offensive. Although the lyrics name check Blanche and Stanley, two characters from A Streetcar Named Desire, just as he'd done with last year's Stella and Charles, as well as the word desire, it appears to have little to do with the plot of Tennessee Williams' Pulitzer Prize-winning play or the subsequent movie. Early in the day, he also worked on If I Could Get Your Attention, a track from May. A few hours were spent on additional overdubs, likely from Joe Jones, as the song was being considered for her album, but in the end, she didn't feel like the track fit her style. I hated that song. It just didn't have enough meat on it. And I think we had gone through so much by that time because we'd known each other for a while. Maybe when I first started out, I would have been bubbly and ecstatic to sing If I Could Get Your Attention. But I was getting tired and there was agita. We'd been through it. It is unclear on what date Taja Seville was also brought in to record her vocals. Once she did, it was obvious that the musical arrangement fit her voice perfectly. 2 C60 cassettes were made of the day's work, and Prince left at 6 a.m. What status we good?
Yeah, it's status.
A roughly 6-minute version of Sign of the Times was edited down to 4:57 and placed on his unreleased Crystal Ball album, then shifted to become the title track for his 1987 album. The day after this session, an instrumental was created from the longer version, and after a 35-second section was removed, that version, 5 minutes 32 seconds, was eventually placed under the credits in Sign of the Times, the movie, in 1987. A shorter version was produced for Dream Factory, in which the end is mixed off. This is different than the single edit, which was released on February 18, 1987, back with La 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 He He He, as the advanced single from the album. It reached number 3 on the US Billboard Hot 100 chart and number 1 on the Billboard Top Black Singles chart. The song was listed as Sign of the Times, but by the time the song was mixed later in the day, it was changed to Sign of the Times. Blanche remained in the vault during his lifetime, but was released on the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe edition in 2020.
Thank you, good sir. So I just really liked that. I like the Susan Rogers quote, like, if you can't fix the world, fix your corner of the world. I think that that kind of describes something. But I think that a lot of people, if you weren't there in real time, it's 2 funny things that happen. One, for a lot of people, Sign of the Times was really new and different for Prince, especially if they hadn't heard Controversy or Dirty Mind. For a lot of people, Sign of the Times was the first time Prince had gotten political, for particularly for the people who showed up for Purple Rain. And I think that's where we have to have the dividing line. For a lot of people, they were like, whoa, what is, like, it blew their mind. But if you were a fan before Dirty Mind, you had already heard Party Up, which is an anti-war song. Right? You had already heard Baby, which is a song about unexpected pregnancy. You already heard Ronnie talk to Russia. So I just found it interesting that for me, it was just Prince being Prince, although two ways Prince was being Prince. Prince being Prince, as Prince was always a social political, but it was Prince being Prince changing his sound again. So it was, but I did find it in real time. I don't know if I was more amused than I was frustrated at how many people were so taken aback that Prince was this political when he had always been that political. What say you guys? And Tammy, feel free to jump in as well.
Well, you know, I have thoughts and feelings. The single, so let me say it two ways. Way number one is that sonically, it's like, yes, you knew that Prince was changing his sound. Like this was different than what came before, but to contradict what I just said directly, it wasn't that different from what he did with Kiss, right? It was still guitar, over drums. A big difference was that here in Sign of the Times, the guitar is much more in front in a lead context, whereas on Kiss, it always just stays rhythm. There's like no lead guitar on the album Parade, at all. But way number two is, particularly if you had been a fan of, or at least tracking Prince through his career, controversy in the 90s. Let's forget put the three albums the first three albums over to the side here. But if you were just an MTV Prince fan, right, and you tracked him from 1999 through Purple Rain, through Around the World Day, through, right, et cetera, the disbandment of the Revolution, the return to Prince as a solo artist where it's just his name on the cover. Then you throw in the visual of the single cover and the promotional pictures, which were cat with the heart over. It made this greater statement of individuality.
Right.
And Prince without a band, of course he has a band, but you see what I'm saying? Prince without a band, without an and of, for 3 years.
Right.
Technically 4 if you were really paying attention to the album cover on 1999, right?
Right.
Was a statement, was a, new year, new me. And brought the guitar back out front. That kind of leveled it up.
Right.
For me. And it was kind of a bit of not a life changer, but that year I was entering high school. So I was trying to shed, the weird geeky image that I had. Still kind of have a weird geeky image as a professional anyway, but I was trying to become something else.
Right.
Because I had an opportunity to redefine some things. Yeah. When you go into that stage. And I felt that arc happening here too, musically, from the artist, like who was my guy, who was my man.
Right. What say you, Big Sexy?
Reading this now and looking back then, we didn't have the advent of information access that we have now. So in July of 1986, I'm still digesting, Parade, and he's working on Sign of the Times.
Right.
And you can see the fracturing, but you can see the cracks in the foundation here, with the band, because, Lisa said it best. She walks in the sound check, he's already there.
Right.
He's got this whole new deal up, and she's like, "Well, this is great." But in the back of her mind, she had to think, "Well, what about us?" So it's interesting to see that. And for an artist, I like going on the journey myself. A lot of times I've heard artists of all kinds say, "I didn't want to do my biggest hit part 2." He's coming off a movie that did not do well and an album that did do well. And he's like, I'm going to go left now. I got something else I want to say. And it sounds like, again, I'm not in the man's head. And I'm honestly looking forward to reading this the next few months in this book. How long was he thinking about making this move? We all know that on September 9th in Yokohama, he broke the guitar. That's it. When he's like, we're fired. Okay, fine. But what led up to that?
Mm-hmm.
What led up to that? And is it the material? Is he like, I'm taking music this way. I've got a singular thing in my head that I want to do. And he did it. I was listening to an interview with someone the other day. I forgot who it was, but they were saying the Revolution, as popular as they were as a unit, the Marquis still said Prince.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, they would get to thinking like they're on equal footing. And I'm not being a weenie here, but you're not. You're not. The name is Prince on the door. And maybe this was the genesis of a new direction for him, wanting to do different things.
So I agree with you, and I'm glad both of y'all brought up that point. For somebody like me who was a fan before Purple Rain, the disbanding of the Revolution I wasn't happy, but it didn't impact me. Because when I met Prince, he was a solo artist, right? When I met Prince, the first time I saw Prince, he was opening for Rick James. He was a solo artist. So, and like Brother Turnbull said, I paid attention to the 1999 cover. So I really was like, what's this Revolution shit? Like that's literally was when I saw it in the little, I just, cause it was just there. Nobody said anything. It's on the album. I just remember being a kid, and if you were a kid like me, you had aunts and uncles, so album covers meant something because all those Parliament albums, right? That's what made me. So I had all those Parliament albums, so I was used to looking at the cartoons, used to read them. So I remember 1999. So I was like, okay, what's this? Okay, fine, whatever. So when to Brother Turnbull's point, when Sign of Times comes out, it wasn't. I remember there was some people who had this kind of emotional thing. I didn't have it because it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, he was a solo artist. This Revolution thing happened. I went along for that ride. Now it's back. But I'm just glad you made that point that there were those of us who were there was like it wasn't. And so when I see in 2026 or whatever, and I see quotes and people like, man, Prince should have never disbanded the Revolution, or I wish he'd go back to the good old days. Like, well, the good old days were kind of before the Revolution. Mm-hmm. And when you say that, you sound like you dissing the Revolution, and you're not. Like I'm not dissing the Revolution. I love the Revolution. Right. But if you talk about the good old days,
there's a certain aspect of, okay, we back on program.
Right, exactly. Right, yeah. And like I was like, yeah. And I have a cousin. I have a cousin John. Cousin John said he'll send me memes of Prince, what he called Prince having his me moment. And so like at the end of Slow Love, there's a moment when Prince is at the end of Slow Love and Prince does this. And my cousin John calls that the fuck me. Like that's that he calls that the fuck me moment. Every time Prince does this, that my cousin John is saying that's the fuck me moment. I know these other people on stage. So Sister Tammy, I'm gonna let you speak if you want to speak to Sign of Times, and then we gonna go because we're at the 12 o'clock hour. I want to go to that wonderful trip you guys had, but I want you, since you're here, to speak to where you were, what your head was, and everything you want to say about Sign of Times. And then I'm gonna put up a quote by somebody that I think will get us great into discussing you guys' trip. Go ahead.
Well, I was still fairly a kid when Sign of the Times, came about, and I think people didn't get Under the Cherry Moon. And again, I don't know what Prince was thinking at the time, but anything that you put 110% in and people don't get it, it leads to a certain amount of disappointment. And with disappointment can spark anger, if you will, and fuel for him to now reinvent himself and do something else. So, and it was revolutionary as well, no pun intended. And to your point, I never saw Prince as like to be pigeonholed in the Revolution era, because I go back to Dirty Mind. So I always saw him as ever evolving, and I was just on the ride and the trip, for what he put out in the material.
Cool. So I wanna start this to get us. So Sister Tammy is with us because she is the fearless leader of the great Under the Cherry Moon Paris, France trip that they take every year. I'm jealous.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
gotta come with us.
So we're going to what we're going to do is that I want to get some things. Hold on for a second because we're going to skip ahead and then come back. So
Okay.
don't be afraid, people. We're going to finish the readings. We are going to finish the readings, but since Sister Tammy is here, because I don't know how long Sister Tammy has for us, so I want to get through her part because she may need to
I'm
jet set.
here.
She may need to
No.
jet set. But I want to put something up. And then I want to talk about this a little bit and then get to the discussion because I'm with Brother Andre 100% on this one. Right? Because I wanted to come back to that when
I agree as well. And
yeah.
I think the beauty of that, the beauty of that is that I feel like Prince gave us the introduction in the States, a passport to the finer things, and to let us know that we belong in those rooms as well. And again, like our world,
Yes.
he was playing the game. It's like, all right, like in the movie, you take some from me, now I'm gonna take some from you. So.
And for me, my girl who did I don't know why I keep Sister Devin's presentation, but Under Cherry Moon for me was a buddy film. I know it's a film of love. Welcome, Sister Dread Dances, to the screen. So I know, but for me, Under the Cherry Moon was always about Tricky and Christopher. And I saw Under the Cherry Moon. That was me and my homeboys, right? It was just me and my homeboys, and because as Sister Tammy said, Christopher and Tricky never stopped being Christopher and Tricky. Like they weren't over there assimilating. They weren't over there like not being who they were from Miami, baby, right? Right. Isaac Sharon is gonna mess one of us up if we don't get some bread soon, and honey, it ain't gonna be me, right?
He wasn't up there going, "Oh, we have to get some shillings before we go back to Miami." He wasn't in that. He wasn't doing none of that.
And I like the fact that Christopher's response was, "I like that blue, man." Like he didn't do the name brand. He was like, "I like that blue." Like whichever one just was. So for me, I'm with you, Brother Andre. That I don't think that Under the Cherry Moon nor Parade was geared toward a quote white audience. I think that, as what Sister Tammy was saying, Prince was simply exploring the pieces of his pie chart and letting all of us know that we all have multiple pieces of our pie chart and that black or blackness isn't something that's easily defined. I want to welcome Sister Dre. Did anybody want to comment on Brother Andre's point before we get to these beautiful pictures, and then we'll get back to our reading?
Real quick, on that premise, I agree with Tammy and Andre and yourself, Lee. It's hard to me, and I'm not a creative person. I'm a lawyer, so I'm boring. But I don't think you can genuinely write an album or film. Well, this is gonna be for them, or this is gonna be for them, but not you. And in the spaces at the south of France, that makes me think about my discovery of fine dining. It's there if you just look for it. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. But you can go into those spaces and be welcomed if that's your thing. And if it's not, that's cool too. So, think about the film now in that setting, in Nice, France, and it's really beautiful. And I did not know that Tammy had a every year pilgrimage. I need to make that move my damn self. But it's so much fun to try and see new things. You got to take the lid off the mayonnaise jar. There's more out there. look around, and that's what they did with this movie.
Brother Turnbull, anything before we get to the pictures? Just wanted to make sure.
Hey,
Get
Drea.
Hey,
No,
Tammy.
I gotta say something for the sisters here, and it's the elephant in the room, And as a little girl, I love the film, and you saw us in there, but we were in the background, and I always wondered what it would have been like if Prince, featured the sisters, and maybe Diane Carroll is in the movie, But again, I'm not in his head, so I will say that, and it still makes me cringe about Joby Valente, who's the one who's saying, Christopher, when can we get together again? That that part, it's like, is it a nightmare? And I don't know. That's the only part of the movie that disturbs me, because Joby Valente is a highly accomplished French artist, singer, and he knew that as well. So I kind of wish if there was those little bit of tweaks, but the movie in itself is perfect.
Do you think that could have been a lack of his expertise as a director with that scene?
Well, I will let me answer it this way, which it won't necessarily answer your question, but I think it'll put in your question and what Sister Tammy in context. As someone who was fortunate enough to see a 2.5-hour uncut version of the film.
Oh.
And the person who showed it to me swore me to secrecy. So look, I'm not one of them people who, like people who have bootlegs but don't like to share. Like, I hate them people, right? But this was somebody.
I've seen some things. I've seen some things too, but
right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like it's sometimes what people don't understand is sometimes people who don't share, they're just a-holes. I hate to use that word, but then there's sometimes when people don't share stuff, it's because you don't get somebody else in trouble. Does that make sense?
Correct. Absolutely.
So there are some things. So I will say this: that scene was not in the original 2.5 hours.
Correct.
Because the scene that it replaced, from what I understand, that the scene had to do with Prince's emotional turn. Prince has a scene where he cries, he breaks down. He didn't believe it. Not that nobody else didn't believe it. So he took it out and replaced it with that. So that's all I'll say, is that scene replaces the scene where Prince has an actual physical crying scene. And so, yes. So to Tammy's point and to Big Sexy's question, that's one where having a voice in the room that you respect probably could have helped, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
To have somebody
and also,
go ahead.
There were some really great scenes in that unreleased thing that would have added more context to the film as a whole.
Yes, that's the other. Yes.
But they kept it to the slapstick comedy that you would find in the 20s and the 30s. So yeah.
Thank you, because I needed to have it. Yes, there are things that the stuff, when it ever comes up here, Tam, you may be like me. The first time I saw it, I was like, why the fuck was that cut? Like, it answers. I'll tell you one piece, which is not monumental, but so when in the movie, Christopher asked Tricky to hold him off, right? Said, hold him off, I'm about to go get. Tricky says what every black person in the movie says at that time is not in the movie. When Christopher says hold him off, Tricky says, win what? Like, that's that's a hilarious moment that should have. So to Tammy's point, those kind of things are cut from the film. So that wait a minute. I will, brother. Right now. I will, because I don't want. Like,
yes, sir, Isaac Sharon.
There you go. There you go, Mr. Sharon. There you go, Mr. Sharon. All right. So with that said, we're gonna now go to. Let me see. I want to just make sure to get everybody, because there were some folks who look. Yes, Christopher breaks down real, actual tears. And I will say this, I believed it. I ain't saying the brother's gonna get no award, Brother Turner, but let me be clear. He wasn't, they wasn't gonna show up with the Oscar. But let me put it this way. I believe that scene as much as I believe the moment when the kid touches his mother's leg and says, "Ma." That's so. If you believe that scene, I felt like I believe the other scene. But as Sister Tammy says, there's some other things that are cut, some things with the actual statue that are cut out. That if those things with that statue stay in. All right. So with that said, I'm going to let's cue up some things. I want to make sure I'm getting everything. Let me see here. Wait a minute. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. There we go. All right. So we got Sister Tammy and Sister Drea dances in the place with us. And for those of y'all, this is going to be a long one because we're going to talk to them and then we're going to get back to finishing the reading because if we don't finish the reading, Prof Duff's gonna show up and turn into Ike Turner, and I ain't trying to eat no cake. So I don't want no cake, Ike. And so we gonna finish this reading, but because Sister Tammy plans this, and they put it together, and it's flawless. So the first thing I want to have you guys say before we get to this is I want to ask both of you guys a question. Can you guys speak to why it's important? Why is traveling abroad important? And so I want you guys to speak to that because, we want to talk about celebrating the movie, but can you guys, both of y'all, speak to why is traveling abroad important? Sister Tammy, then Sister Drea dances.
It's important. I've been traveling since I was a little girl. My grandparents, every summer, we went to Costa Rica, we went to Ecuador, to Panama. We did road trips across the states. And, my grandfather was a chef. My grandmother was a nurse. And, you work all year, you save, and we went on vacation. It just broadens your mind, your imagination. You meet different people, different cultures. You experience different food. I love road trips to this day because of my grandparents. So once you get that traveling bug, it's sort of hard to stop. I love it. I'm still sad because I'm still sad. I've been back now. We've been back how many days? Like 6 days, Drea?
Yeah.
6-7 days? Yeah, so we're still feeling it. I'll let you go ahead, Drea.
Mm-hmm. Well, my heart is still actually in Nice right now. I have been traveling since I think my first plane ride, I was 3 or 4 years old. And we went to Los Angeles, California to Disneyland. And the very first time I got on the plane and felt the takeoff, I was hooked.
Ooh.
And again,
you better than me because I'm still scared to take off. Go ahead.
I love taking off. I love it. And to speak to what Tammy is saying, just to echo what she was saying, my grandmother was someone who traveled all the time. And when she went on her travels, she always would send me postcards. And so I, to this day, collect postcards from places I've been because of her. But traveling has always been something that's been super instilled in me. And it's important because, again, it broadens your horizons. It helps you to see things from a clearer perspective because God created the entire world, not just the United States.
Amen.
And when you see other parts of the world and get other perspectives from different people and different cultures, it helps you to understand and be more empathetic towards people's situations. And my goal really before I leave this life is to visit every place. I've been to half of the country and still have the other half of the country to go, but to hit every continent. Because it's important, to understand that we are citizens of the world. I love when Prince said to Matt Damon at that time, "I live in my heart."
Yeah.
It's important for us to understand that we are citizens of the world.
Thank y'all both for that. So now we're going to get to, but I want to say thank you, Brother Edgar. I like this point too. The Single Man's Mom was not all the original cut. Proof that they tried to amp up the comedy afterwards. There we go. So all right, so which brings me to the point. Maybe Prince thought that scene with the sister that so many of us cringe, he was playing it for a comedy moment, and it just sometimes comedy falls flat, or because you know something like you tell a joke and then only after you tell the joke you're like, that wasn't that funny, right? So, but I'm with y'all. I'm with you guys on that. So we're gonna get to the Under the Cherry Moon, the excursion 2026, Nice, France. Okay, so I'm gonna go and tell the truth. I think I was like 17 or 18 before I realized it was Nice and not nice. Like I didn't, and that's one of the my father be like, "Well, don't tell nobody else that story." All right, so and sadly for my father, I had a lot of things he used to tell me that. So, all right, curated by Sister Tammy, and so we're gonna go. And what I'm going to do, all right. So what I'm going to do, Sister Tammy, Sister Dre, is that I'm just going to click through, and let you guys talk about what we're seeing. So go ahead, and we got a lot to get through here, so we're going to kind of go kind of fast, you guys in the chat. But go ahead.
Yes. So first I'll start with some of these pictures are courtesy of myself, Drea, Karan, and yeah, it was a great experience. So the first picture you saw is actually when I was landing. We were getting ready to land in Nice, and this is also in the airport. So it's kind of like not in any particular order. I want to thank D'Angela for setting up the slides and for her graciousness to have us here today.
Who is this? Who is this? Who is this fine Sasha thing I need to get them 7 digits from?
This is me after seeing Under the Cherry Moon. Under the Cherry Moon came out in 86, and this was my junior high school prom in 87, 88. And I asked my mom, I said, "Mom, I want a dress that is like Under the Cherry Moon," and I found it, and I had this obsession with black and white, and it's just I wanted to include this because here we are 40 years later, and that little girl still has that same enthusiasm for the film and to taking people through the steps of Tricky and Christopher. So that's what that picture's about. Me and my Under the Cherry Moon mode.
Hey, look here. I'm just glad I wasn't the only one that Prince was influencing my fashion and my hairstyle. Big sexy brother Turnbull, don't laugh at me. So I was so influenced by the Christopher. I'm glad she said prom. I was so influenced by Christopher that next year at senior prom, I went in a black tuxedo and got some guys to act as my bodyguard. They cleared out the dance floor. I danced by myself, put my Prince coat back on, and got escorted out. That is literally how
I love it.
My own. So thank you, Sister Tam, for not making me feel bad. I was the only one completely living my life by what Prince was putting down. All right. What is this? What we looking at?
This is a fantastic picture captured by Drea of Cersei, which is better known to y'all as Le Pavillon. And this is where the Girls and Boys video was filmed.
There you go. Oh, look at this. I love this one. I love this. Look at them.
Oh, that's great.
Tell us
this year.
Give us the names of everybody in the picture.
Okay. Starting now, I don't have my glasses on, so forgive me. We have Karan, we have Drea, we have my sister, my bones, my love, my sister Vonda, and Tanya by way of New Zealand, UK. We have Lauren, Alisa, Portia, and we have myself and Andrea and Luther. Yeah, that is everybody.
And
everybody. And Anne, yes, and Anne.
I love that you guys look as elegant and as beautiful as the surrounding. I just love that you guys, because to me, this is as much as what Prince was about to me, was the style and the fashion, and to finding, like, none of y'all look the same. All y'all look fly. That to me is like the quintessential how Prince influenced us, right?
Thank you.
They got the boom box, got to bring it down to my world.
So that is Andrea Lynn, she brought that prop, so pretty cool.
So Tammy, not only was this like domestic American people, you have people from other countries go with you guys too?
Yeah, yeah. In the first trip, we had people from Holland joined us. Uh, yeah, so it's pretty cool. The first one in 2023.
We got
That
what
is
Yeah. Oh
Melissa
my
great.
did.
gosh. Oh my gosh. My gosh. My gosh. My gosh. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Melissa and Derek. Also, shout out to Thomas. He was supposed to come with us, but he couldn't make it. A couple of people couldn't make it. Again, so sorry for my eyes and my menopause brain. My apologies. So yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Let me see. Here we go. Tell us what we're looking at.
This is the inside of Le Circe, Le Pavillon, and it's me and Drea there. And actually, the restaurant inside, there's a portion where the statue is where it actually rotates. It is pretty cool. Pretty
Very
cool.
classy.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell us what we're looking at.
We have Melissa and Tanya, Vonda, and then we have Drea here, and we're inside enjoying ourselves. The staff there, Cersei, is amazing, and it takes a lot of emails and communication and setting up for this to really flow right. The best time of this was 2024. We had the music and the visuals, but we really had a lovely time.
So, Sister Tammy, Sister Drea, can both of y'all speak to, and again, I'm just, for me, because just traveling, and can you guys speak to the concept and even relating it to what Prince is doing in the movie, but also to what you guys are doing, to the whole notion that people, to me, the other thing that you guys trip represents is you deserve this. You deserve to be treated well. You deserve to see the world. You deserve the best, right? I think that a lot of times when we're dealing with struggle and we're dealing with oppression, people who are taught to struggle and be oppressed tend to not think they deserve things that everybody else deserves. So can you speak to, and maybe I could just be projecting that onto this, but for me, one of the great things I'm getting from this is it's a message that everybody deserves this. And Prince was letting us know you can go in any space and be yourself, but you still deserve to have everything that everyone else has. Am I off base on that?
No, you're pretty much on point. And we were there. We were ourselves. Like I said, I'm from Brooklyn, and we were cutting up and having fun in there. No pinkies out, just being ourselves and enjoying great food. So yeah, I mean, and the thing when I planned this, I planned it in mind with everyone with different budgets. I don't have a great budget, but if you do your research, you can find great accommodations. You save your money in advance for the dining experiences, be it for Le Circe and Ducap, which is the most pricey of everything. But for the rest of the week, going to the grocery store, you're buying your groceries to cook and eat with our group. So it is very possible, and I'm not making any money on this. I'm not monetizing it. Maybe I should. But that wasn't what it was about for me. It was like going through those steps and experiencing the South of France as Christopher and Tricky did. It's not a tour, it's an experience. And there was a lot of serendipitous things that happened along the way every year that we've gone. I do have to mention we did not go in 2025 because I felt like the climate of the world was unsure, and I wanted to be mindful of things that were happening, with this current administration, people with jobs, self-included. So I figured, you know what, let's chill, wait to the 40th and do it big.
And if I can jump in really quickly, just to say,
sure.
To corroborate what Tammy says, this was, and in terms of what you're saying, Celie, about traveling, this was a dream come true for me. This is my second time going. The first time I went was in 2024. And to be in the same space as Prince was in the south of France after working as hard as I had been working and wanting to have gone to Nice since I was 15 years old when I saw the movie the first time. To have that realized was an experience. And I got very emotional when we were on the promenade and I saw where his car went into, and it just overwhelmed me. And one of the things I appreciate about Tammy in curating these experiences, because I don't feel like it was a tour or a trip, it's an experience. And one of the things I appreciate about Tammy is that she curates experiences with the heart and passion and love that she has for the movie and for Prince. So those of us who attend it can not only just see the sights, but experience what it would have been like to be there in 86. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's perfect sense. I love that. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it was great.
Tammy, let me ask you, Andrea, this. You mentioned when you were there, you were just doing like at a point you're just going to the grocery store and things like that. What was that like, going to like a grocery store in such a far away location as opposed to doing it, in the United States?
It was an experience. I have to tell you, this time around, my bags were lost. So I was without clothes for the first 3 days. So I wasn't able to go to Hotel du Cap for the first day. And I was on my own in the city. So I had to navigate going to the store by myself, finding the exchange and exchanging my money and doing all that while being horrible at speaking French. I'm not good at French at all. But it was really interesting to go into the store, and they have the store there that's kind of like their superstore, as you may, is called Monoprix. And I went into the Monoprix and it has everything you could ask for. It has groceries, it has clothes. I had to buy new clothes. I had to buy toiletries. I had to buy everything. And I could find it all in this one Monoprix. And I have to say, the French are have a reputation for being rude, but they were very, very patient with me with my horrible French. And many of them would be very kind and start speaking English to me. So I was able to get around and navigate through it. But it's really an experience, and it's one that I really wish upon everyone, is to experience a different culture and to learn, try to learn another language, do your best at it and realize that, that there's so many different things. It's also cool to see different brand names that we know here in the States in other countries, and then experience different brand names that are not in the States. So that was cool too. But yeah, I had to navigate the city, take the train, do all that stuff by myself because I didn't have my bag. So it was pretty cool.
So tell us what we're looking at here. What's this picture?
This picture, I wish Karan was on. I guess because we were together, but there was others did other things because we're glued to the hip. I always encourage people to, if there's other things that they like to do, to participate in those things. So I'm imagining that this is somewhere in this is probably somewhere in Le Circe, a different part of the grounds.
Yeah, it looks like they're on their way.
Yeah,
it looks like they made a stop and they're on their way.
Made a stop or something. But back to what Drea was saying. I love staying in Airbnbs in Nice, France, because I'm washing my clothes, I'm hanging them on the line. Oh, stop at this picture. I stop at that picture before we go any further.
Yes.
And washing my clothes and hanging them on the line and going to the grocery store and shopping, and the fruits and vegetables are actually, it puts the US to shame.
Absolutely.
So you really taste the difference.
So hold on.
The picture before.
I think Portia's saying this is on the way to Sears.
Oh, there's to Thursday. Okay. But the picture of Karan and Derek, if we could go back to that one.
Sure.
That one this is at Hotel du Cap. I absolutely love this picture. And it was their first time in Nice. So glad to, and they're really diehard Prince fans, really glad to see it through their eyes. But I absolutely love this picture. And take a look at the background. This is what it is. This ain't AI. The water is crystal blue. It is absolutely breathtakingly beautiful, and they look fantastic.
Mm.
Yeah.
Great job. What are we looking at here?
This is, I think they went to Cannes. So this is their picture when they were in Cannes.
Oh, the film festival.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
like some sort of setup there.
Cool.
Let's see.
Christopher and Tricky getting ready for a night out.
That's exactly what it looks like. We have Derek and Luther here. This looks like the lobby of their hotel, which is a beautiful hotel clock. Yeah, everybody was on point at all times. That's a non-negotiable for me in terms of like embodying, you know, the embodying the style of the French Riviera.
What's happening here?
This, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know where this is. I don't think we were there, but it looks like they're having a great time. This is our welcome cocktails at Hotel Chanticleer, which is Hotel Negresco. A beautiful, beautiful location where they usually sometimes have live music. So yeah, we had our welcome ceremony here, and it was also Melissa's birthday. So we had a birthday drink for her. And yeah, this was a time for us to kind of get together, decompress, have a drink. Everyone just finished landing or getting there. So this is our way to sort of ground ourselves and get ready for the week.
Okay. Did y'all just have some other people just join y'all party while y'all were eating? I see some other people.
No, this is outside. So This was our group, and it kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger as people were arriving. Okay. And I have to really give thanks again to Drea, because even though she did not have her luggage, we're like, you know what, it doesn't matter, just come. It doesn't matter what you have on. Come join us. Have a mocktail, relax. We're gonna figure it out. So I thank her for handling difficult situation with grace, because you have your outfits with you, and you're worried about where your luggage is going to be. So we're glad that worked out for her.
Sister Dre, you just taught me a lesson, because I can become a party fool. Things don't go my way. I'm gonna have to remember now. Instead, what would Sister Drea do? That's what I'm gonna have to start. Cause when something in my plan don't work right, I become a party poop. So thank you, Sister Drea.
Drea, what is it that you say? Delay but not denied.
Right. Delay is not denial.
There you go. Mm-hmm. And Sister Tammy, Kim said, that's why I can't go on the Tammy trip, because I can't be. Kim said, I ain't got time for all that dressing up. These are just 3 beautiful shots here. You want to talk us?
Oh, thank you. So the first shot is the crib. This is the facade of where Christopher and Tricky lived. And the inside is absolutely beautiful, Baroque. And if you want to get into a little bit more history, Napoleon Bonaparte lived here for a month. Oh, cool. And this is like a central part of Old Nice. It's very central to the beaches. To everywhere. I just love the building, and we had the opportunity to stay there in 2023. It's just a beautiful place, and anytime we have a chance to go inside, the building holds such an awe. If I ever won the lottery, I'm gonna go for it. that would be what I would go for. The second picture is also another shot from our welcome cocktails at Hotel Negresco. And the third shot is the views from our Airbnb. So we actually stayed close to Plaza Messena, where the statue is, where you see in the opening credits of Under the Cherry Moon. So this was our view. This is Villefranche-sur-Mer. Villefranche-sur-Mer is a central part of the film, Promenade de Professeurs, where Tricky and Katie are confronting the goons. So this is that area. There's a little bit of a walk along a promenade where you get to that area. So we're having dinner here. This is another really beautiful area by the port.
And I just want to interject, Sister Tammy. as somebody who took 2 years of French myself and don't remember none of it, I love the way you work in the language today. So all I remember from my French class is "comment dit-on en français." That's all I remember. And I pimped that phrase, Big Sexy Brother Turnbull, to get a B out of class both times.
I gotta thank Duolingo, which is very, very helpful. So I can understand some sentences. I may not have the enunciation, but I can go, un billet s'il vous plaît. I can ask for the bill. I can ask we sont toilettes. I can ask where the bathroom is. Like basic things. This is beautiful, Drea.
Mercy.
This is beautiful, Drea, in front of the statue area. Again, she had her own day where she went and got breakfast and put on a beautiful sundress and just took in the day. I encouraged everyone to sort of have that opportunity and do that. What we got next?
Talk to us, Drea. Talk to us about
Drea. Yeah. Tell us about your day.
Well, as you know, the heat wave was on over in Europe, and so it was really, really hot. Fortunately, but the time that we got there, it had dropped to the upper 80s as opposed to the hundreds. So it was still very hot outside. So I did a little bit of walking and took some selfies in front of the fountain and things like that. Got some gelato. The gelato is awesome over there.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing. So great.
So let me quick question, because Heavenly Games had a question. Is there, for someone who would want to go next year, can they email you or hit you up on, because I'm not on the socials, but is there somebody who will think about doing it, or could they?
Yeah, I have a page dedicated to the trip. Is Under the Cherry Moon, the excursion. You can also follow me at Voyeur77 on Instagram, Alana Mika on Facebook. Although I'm not really on Facebook as much as I used to, but there is a page on Instagram.
So we'll do this. Send the two that you mentioned to Prof Duff, and we'll make sure we'll make sure that she puts them in the stream next week.
Sounds good. I will definitely get on that.
Then that way folks can reach out to you, because hey, I'm like everybody else. Y'all are inspiring the rest of us to explore our slices, and we thank y'all for that. Let's go through some more. Tell us what we looking at.
Okay. So for 2 years straight, I've been trying to get to Island Rock. Now, Island Rock is only open on Saturday. So when we've gone before, depending on the time that we went, it was closed. So you are looking at the inside of Mary Sharon's house. This is Villa Island Rock.
So that's the stairs where you have no right. Is them the stairs? You have no right. Wait a minute. But it's them the stairs when she comes out. There are a lot of fancy words for whore, Father, and I'm sure you are. Well, with all of them.
With all of them. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it
is. And Big Sexy and Brother Turnbull, not to show off my own sexes, but you know what? I ain't gonna lie. If watching it in real time, even though I was rooting for Christopher, I kind of understood where Isaac was coming from. I didn't put this pimp game together and you fucked it up. What is going on? I didn't put this pimp game here. You look, you gonna marry that boy, and we gonna put this money together, and I'm gonna get this boy this $100,000 check and be done with him. Right? That's all. Yeah.
Listen, they both are playing the same game.
Look, that's why in my presentation, one of the points I make is that what a lot of people miss from the film, Christopher is Isaac at the beginning of the movie.
And then he has a shift.
Exactly. And what I hate I didn't put in that paper, but if you compare the two films, the kid is his father at the beginning of the movie. Christopher is Isaac at the beginning of the movie. And both of those movies are about the ability of a person to change, which is why I didn't like when we were getting ready for the Broadway, that people talked about, well, the Purple Rain movie needs to be fixed and the Purple Rain movie. No. that movie, the Purple Rain movie, is about the ability of a young man to recognize his toxicity and change and become a better human being. And so people should watch Purple Rain and Under the Cherry Moon under that lens of the kid is trying not to be his father, and Christopher eventually stops being Isaac Sharon. And I think people will see both of those movies in a whole new way. And thank you for showing me them stairs, so I can make that point that she had no right.
I always think of Rodney during that line. You have no right. Okay, this picture was loaded up twice, but there's a story to this. So we get to Nice, we hit the ground running. Of course, we stop over by the crib, and I love dogs. And this sweet baby approached, and talking with the gentleman, and I asked, "What's his name?" His name was Nelson.
Oh wow,
Nelson the puppy.
Wow.
When I tell you, I believe in messages, and that was just sweet. I'm like, of all the names, your name is Nelson, and we're standing right in front of the crib.
Wow.
That's
serendipitous.
Yeah.
This is the racetrack, right?
Meet me at the Hippodrome. This is it. This is the Hippodrome.
I got
nothing going on.
No, you got
you got late age. So yeah, this is the Hippodrome, which is kind of near to Antibes. This is another shot inside of Le Pavillon.
Yes, that's actually where Prince was for the Girls and Boys video.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, you got to go back. Somebody.
The chandelier.
Hold on. There you go. Life can be so nice. There we go. Have to cue that up. The chandelier. There you go, chandelier. And I think Edgar Cruz made the point that it was cool to see all the chandeliers there so many years later, right?
And to your point, everything that was in the movie 40 years ago is still the same, with the exception of one place that's no longer there. But it's so beautiful. It's like everything is the same. The arches, the crib, which is a landmark building, it cannot be altered. They did some movement in Le Circe because a lot of these places served as, I'm using the word wrong, bunkers, but they were transformed during wars into hospitals for people to retreat. So the changes that they've gone through is pretty interesting, but they've remained the same.
No, I do though think that you hit up on a point about so 2 points here. One, most people forget what a young country America is, right? The United States is a young ass country. Like we just now going through puberty. If you think about the rest of the countries in the world, America is really just going through puberty. So to your point, one of the things that sets it apart is that I'm not going to say we don't respect history, but change is the American thing. Like we tear down buildings like it's nothing. We tear down and build up. We tear down and build up. And if you go to other countries, they don't tear down.
They preserve.
Right. They preserve. In fact, in America, it's funny that you mentioned those being landmarks. The only time we don't tear down is if we've specially designated something as a landmark, right? We have to go out of our way to say, well, that right there was the Underground Railroad, so we ain't going to tear that down because we're going to put a placard up. To where in other countries, they don't have to put up placards because they have a relationship with their history.
With history, yes.
In a way that Americans don't generally have, and I'm being general here, and I don't want people to say, well, Americans don't care about history. I'm not saying we don't care about history. I'm just saying that because the country is so young, that we are a tear down, build up, as opposed to, right. I love this, Kim, right. 20 years is too old for some buildings here. Like when people start talking about old, 20 years, and now Sister Tammy and Sister Dre are giving us pictures of buildings that are thousands of years old, right? So that I think that's the point there. All right, so cool. Let's go on. All right, what are we looking at?
Oh, this is my house. This is Mrs. Wellington.
Mrs.
It's
Wellington.
my house. Mrs. Wellington's house.
Hey, Isaac! Put on my drawers! Put on. She like it like that. Isaac in the mood for draws.
This is Villa Dorraine. Villa Dorraine is actually owned currently by Jean Pigozzi, very wealthy person. We were not able to go inside of the grounds, of course, because I'm always researching and looking. But this is Mrs. Wellington's house, where that scene that we just eloquently reenacted took place.
There we go. Let me see here. All right. Okay. So we got Sister Drea propping up, trying to let Isaac know she coming.
This is the intro to Island Rock. This island is just fantastic. The grounds are beautiful. It also is attached to the grotto. The grotto was closed this year because the rocks are beginning to fall. So maybe they need to, reinforce the structures before they open it again. There's like a whole path that leads to a little beach in this area of Island Rock in Villa Dorraine. Okay. And here it goes. This is the scene where Mary Sharon comes out, where Christopher is standing and gives her the look.
Oh, wait a minute.
This is it. There you go.
Hey, big sex, better turn. I started moving. I went back to school my 11th grade year. I tried that shit in the school cafeteria. A girl hit me with a damn bowl. Boy, sit your ass down. Damn.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, this is what this is. It is absolutely beautiful.
So there
yes.
you go. Thank you.
Yes.
So
yes, Edgar. Yes.
Before the U.S. was even founded. Thank you, Edgar. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And again, that's why I think, yes, of course, that's another world that Prince opened for us through this film and doing this, that to really be able. Sometimes you don't truly understand what you have till you go visit something else, and to truly understand where you are about and this is going to be a crude example, but I was having a conversation with a friend, and we were talking about one of the things that we hate about conglomeration is that, and Big Sex and Brother Turnbull, if y'all want to jump in on this, here's why I feel sorry for young people today. Young people today will never have something that each of us had. They will never have the moment when their friend from another part of the country comes to, or their family from another part of the country comes to visit them for the summer, and y'all share songs that neither one of y'all know about because they both regional songs, and y'all share dances because they're both regional dances, right? The whole conglomeration, like when my cousins from Chicago would come to Mississippi, or my cousin from New Orleans would come over to Mississippi, and we would talk about what's the new dances or what's the new songs, right? Those kind of things, because we become so conglomerized. That's what I think Prince also did for us on a global level. Does that make sense what I'm saying, or no?
Yes,
no, it does.
Absolutely. It does. Here we go. This is still in Island Rock, where Isaac Sharon, who's the prettiest girl in the Côte d'Azur? This is the entryway to the house. It was like pretty surreal standing there. 40 years later.
That's the moment when I realized Isaac Sharon went bullshit. He's like, could you release the dogs? They seem awful hungry. Like, what the hell? What's this? Release the dogs. They seem kind of hungry. What kind of villainous ish is this?
Oh my gosh, I can't see.
Oh, that's the outside of the
outside, the south side of the Island Rock. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that Melissa?
Yes, Melissa. Mm-hmm.
That's Melissa. This is a great shot by Drea of the property. This is beautiful.
You
That's beautiful.
You get your Mary Sharon on. You get your Mary Sharon on. Girl. All you need is a towel. You should have had a towel on.
Oh, we reenacted that, but we didn't put that video in here.
Okay, all right. They said, look, we ain't doing no Patreon. That's what they ain't doing. We gonna need a Patreon for Brother D. Mike D.
God.
Oh, great.
It's Drea.
Yes. Great picture. I love your yellow too. I love your yellow.
Yes.
That is gorgeous.
So pretty. And this is yours truly standing in the spot where Prince gave the look. I had to be a nerd and do it and stand there. So
yes, indeed.
Pretty surreal. Hey, this is everybody here. They got to Island Rock a little earlier. So we have Lauren, Elisa, Andrea, Portia, Karan, and Derek.
There we go.
Here's all of us here.
That's when we were meeting up. They were leaving and we got there.
Yeah. So we have Melissa, Portia, Vonda, Drea, myself, and Karan, Derek, Elisa, and Tanya.
So what I'm hearing is that you guys are there, but people are kind of also doing different excursions also.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So cool. So that's cool then that you're there as a group, but then people are off doing individual things. That's pretty cool. So it gives you both a collective and an individual trip at the same time.
Sure. Yes.
Cool. Good deal.
This is the fountain where we give the tarot cards. I do nothing for fun.
I think you like to do a lot more than read it, buddy.
So yeah, this is the fountain. This is where all the elephants were during the party scene. Yeah.
All right, hold on.
A closer shot. This is Island Rock. Not Island Rock, I'm sorry, Hotel du Cap.
Okay.
And this was inside of our Airbnb. We of course had the screening.
Yeah, I was gonna say, y'all had a special night. Y'all had a streaming night.
Yes. We streamed it on the actual day of the anniversary of Under the Cherry Moon.
I like this. Someone has to make the pennies. There you go, Rodney. Y'all stay with y'all want to. I think we all secretly admired Isaac Sharon. I think we all, like a lot of us.
Oh yeah.
He wrong, but he ain't wrong.
He's the villain you love to hate, but secretly he had his appeal. Someone has to earn the pennies.
He reminds me. I'm about to date myself. I'm about to show you how old I am, because probably very few people gonna get this reference. He reminds me of Victor Kiriakis, and people not gonna know who Victor Kiriakis is. Anybody put in the chat if you know.
Victor Kiriakis?
Huh?
Did you say Victor Kiriakis?
Yes, Victor Kiriakis, Big Sexy. You know what I'm talking about? That's him, Big Sexy.
School us, please. School us.
Okay.
I don't. Forgive me. I don't know.
So forgive me. I don't remember the actual soap opera.
Days of Our Lives.
Days of Our Lives. Check this out, Tammy. Victor Kiriakis was such a fly ass villain that they had to make him a good guy because it wasn't a good look, because all the fans were falling in love with the villain.
Oh, okay.
Victor Kiriakis may be, of record, like the first villain that becomes a good guy, because he was so damn and he was, and when I say fly, I don't mean like in the young, but in like the Isaac Sharon kind of way. He was evil, but he was fly as hell with his evil.
Okay. So I can dig it.
So I'm gonna put it out there for people who know. I need somebody to write a paper analyzing Victor Kiriakis and Isaac Sharon, because I want somebody to write that paper. I need that paper written. Maybe Sister Karan maybe know about that. All right, so I just wanted to
see, my grandma was a Young and the Restless at General Hospital girly.
Okay. We watched what our grandmamas watched. That's what we did.
That's right. But to me, I feel like Isaac Sharon, and I don't know where this came from. This popped in my head just now. had that Telly Savalas type of energy.
Oh yeah.
You know,
God,
Yeah.
with,
Oh
with,
yeah.
with the with the
Yeah.
with the flyness. What? Because
Yes.
he wasn't messing with Telly Savalas.
You can tell Telly back in the 70s, he'd roll up on the ladies,
What?
"Who loves you, baby?" And they'd freak out. Oh, Telly was bad.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
right, we're gonna hit it. Who loves you, baby? So you got
Yeah.
that.
Oh.
In fact, you know what? In fact, I'm not gonna even lie. The first time I saw Prince with the lollipops, I thought Telly Savalas. Because that was
Wow, that was
Right.
his thing.
Yeah.
the first person with the lollipop was Telly Savalas. So to
Yeah.
the youngins in the chat, go look up Kojak. The show was called Kojak, and look up Telly Savalas. And he was Greek, I think, right? That was a bad bald Greek brother. That brother was.
And the glasses, his frames were righteous.
Yep. Yes. Yes. So we had a quick question. Did you guys talk with any locals about Prince or about the movie?
No, we didn't. We didn't. We spoke with the neighbors that's in the actual crib. But they really, I think there was one who kind of remembered that era and that time. But there were people at Hotel du Cap still there to this day that are aware of the film. But oddly, there's always I'm not going to call it a microaggression, but there was a push to say, well, hey, you have all these other celebrity pictures on the wall. Where's Prince? I think that history needs to be carried. And in their mind, they're like, oh, well, there was a number of celebrities who's been here, because to give you a little history about Hotel du Cap, it was a retreat for writers and artists, Josephine Baker, Chagall, really well-to-do people who's been there. So I'm not sure why Prince hasn't been part of that history and mention. That's why we're here.
And you know what?
Because you ain't gonna erase the black. We were there.
But you know what, Tammy? That's another example of why your trip is important. And I think that part of making, as you guys continue the trip, should be part of, I wouldn't necessarily say putting pressure, but making it mindful that, hey, y'all got these other people on the wall. What was the Spike Lee movie? Why Ain't No Brothers on the Wall? Was what,
No,
do the right thing. Yeah,
do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Tammy, this trip will help people because what's my man? For years, Alexander Dumas, the man who wrote The Three Musketeers. A lot of people don't know that Alexander Dumas was a black man. For many years, his burial, he wasn't buried in the proper place. He wasn't buried where all the dignitaries and writers were, and eventually he was moved because of the pressure that people kept saying, hey, Alexander Dumas needs to be, because French literature is Alexander Dumas. There is no French literature without Alexander Dumas. And so, so I think that you guys doing the trip. And Sister Kim, I think though, and I may be wrong, Sister Kim, I think that those pictures on the wall are more than just French people, right? It's people, just celebrities who visited, right?
No, it's just celebrities who's visited who were from the States, like all around. And there's not many black people on those walls, because Hotel du Cap has different restaurants, different levels. There's Le Roc, du Cap. And, unless you are a guest, you cannot go into the actual hotel. We've been fortunate enough to get in golf carts to go around, because there's a spa and stuff there, but it is pretty, they have very staunch rules. And this year, those rules got even more strict, if you will.
So, Sister Tammy and Brother Edgar, Brother Cruz, I think this is a job for both of y'all then. Brother Cruz said someone should under the cherry.
Oh, so Théâtre de Verdure in, I butchered that, in Nice, that is the location where America was filmed on Prince's off day. And, if anything ever came to that, I would love for D'Angela to be at the helm of that, because she has been, all of you guys have been such amazing keepers of Prince's scholastic and musical legacy.
So
Yeah, so that would be really great. And if I have more coins, I'd love for the likes of musicians to have a party at Island Rock, just like it was then. Strings and Chris Rob, and a real thing of capturing that bygone era. So, and not to mention, Tina Turner lived in Villafranche-sur-Mer. You had Josephine Baker, who I'm also a big fan of. So yeah, that's a fantastic idea. And the 40th anniversary was very important to make this pilgrimage. And there are people who make solo trips there on their own, which is wonderful. Also want to mention, I think the group from Spain that did all the locations. But for here, I was the first one to curate a group trip to Nice, France.
Oh,
everything else is sort of like people, doing it on their own. But it was yours truly.
And see, that's why we love you. So
Thank you. Appreciate you.
We got the streaming. We got the Venus de Milo.
Yeah, just decorated it. I brought prints from United States. I brought them to Nice, the cutout. And yeah, this was our Airbnb. Yeah, I scaled it down a little bit this year because we are in different economy. But yeah, we had a great time. Our space was beautiful. And yeah, that's Karan. Karan's pajamas. The pajamas. The exact color, the monogram. So if you're gonna roll with us, you got to pay attention to detail. End of story.
So Duke, when Prof Duff, when Sister Tammy gives the information about next year's trip, and Prof Duff puts that information out in the stream next Saturday, make sure then you hit up Sister Tammy. Y'all can work on that. And yes, Sister Karan, I got to give you props.
She did that.
I got to give you props. You got, look here. You live in my dreams.
Because people don't know that that's the color of the pajamas that he actually wore. I mean,
exactly.
Some people do, but
exactly.
It showed up differently in the film. But
which is why,
as the kiddies go, they clock it. Yes, Karan, you did that.
Why we're all holding up hope that there is a color print somewhere. And I'll just say, I love the black and white film. I just want the color print just for document, right? I just want to see how beautiful it looked. And so Karan, you have given us another reason for why we all want to see the color version. I see the streaming going here. Look how intimate.
And Karan, thank you for the fantastic drink.
Thank you for adding. There's just one more video we're gonna get to, but I'm so glad that you added a video. Play it one more time. And
Karan, thank you for the fantastic drink.
Because I know go ahead.
I just want to just take a moment to thank everybody who's been part of this from 2023, 2024, and for the 40th this year. Oh, let's get into this. So, Le Romarin was the bat scene restaurant. So it has now officially closed.
Oh.
And now it is this beautiful restaurant called Mantra. And when we were passing by it, you can see it says "In a world so cold," and I can't see the rest because I don't have my glasses on.
In a world so cold, eating curry. No, I can't see. Hold on.
I can't see the rest of it.
In a world so cold, eating curry must be it. The Prince. P.S.
The Prince was here. Yeah. So they were fantastic. And Vonda, my sister, she goes in there. And was showing everyone like, "Yay, this is where the restaurant was," and we were getting Pinocchio's gelato. And she goes inside and made a reservation for us. So we went there and had our last dinner there at the restaurant, and they were fantastic. They were playing Prince, and we had a really, really great time. there. So shout out to the staff at Mantra for taking care of us. And it was just our little group that this is the spot where the scene took place with Christopher and Tricky saying, you're afraid of bats and I ain't afraid of, expletive. This is it. That's where they sat. And this is what the restaurant looks like now. Now, before it looked very dated and very much like an old establishment. But now it's someplace new, and I still would recommend everyone to go there so they can see where the scenes took place in the film. That's what's important. This is everyone. They took a picture at Mantra. Everyone came up and had drinks, and I also want to not to bring a damper down, but we lost the Purple Sister. We lost Ms.
Yes.
And we got together to have a drink on her behalf, and she had wanted to come to Nice. It was in her plans to do so. So rest in music, Ms. So yeah.
With Eggers had been the first time back in 1990s. Accident, then holiday. My parents suddenly recognized what Christopher drove in part. Like these are all the stories that we need. Thank y'all so much. Let me see.
This is Castle Hill, the Love or Money scene.
There we go. Every time I see this, I just start singing Love or Money in my head.
Oh, money.
Now this is the money shot here.
I think this is Karan's video. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. This is all the ports. Oh yeah, it is. And let me tell you guys something else. If you go to Nice, be prepared to walk.
Be prepared to walk.
The beaches are rocks, but they're comfortable. With the exception if you go to Villefranche-sur-Mer or Menton, where it's sand. But it is a walking city, and there's elevation, so you gotta be on your grind and get ready to walk. I live in New York, so I'm used to walking. So yeah, it's definitely a place where you're gonna get your steps in. It's Derek's capture. Okay, my apologies. And Derek is a fantastic photographer. Karan's man. I can't see who this is.
Oh, that's me.
It's Drea. She took a picture with in front of Apollo, and he still ain't got no draws. He still ain't got no draws on.
No draws.
Is this the grotto?
Yes, down there is the grotto.
That's the grotto. Yeah.
Did y'all walk up it?
No, it's closed this year, but we went in 2024, right. And I laid inside of there. Yeah, got inside. We have pictures of all that stuff. You can see, again, if you go to the page under the Cherry Movie Excursion, you will see previous pictures from prior trips. It's Drea with the moon. The cherry moon.
Under the cherry moon.
Mm-hmm. And this is the beach at night. Listen, there are no words that any picture can capture.
It doesn't do it justice.
It doesn't do it any justice being on the beach at night. It doesn't close. Many times we've gone there, getting in the water. People are just relaxing. It's peaceful. And the moon just glistens on the water. It's poetry in motion. It really is. There's no place else that I want to be in Nice except for by the beach. Here's Dre. Dre, tell them about your t-shirt.
Yes, so this is a t-shirt that actually was designed by Derek and Karan that says, "We had fun, didn't we?" And that was on my last day of going back home.
I love that shirt. I love that.
Yeah, the shirts are amazing.
All right, so that is it. We want to thank, please, everybody in the chat, please give it up for Sister Tammy and Sister Drea dancing.
Thank you guys.
First of all, we want to thank you guys for having the vision, particularly Tammy for having the vision. And we want to thank you guys for doing it, because when you do something, you make it possible for somebody else. I can't stress that enough. So what you guys did just made it possible for everybody else. And so we want to give you guys your flowers. We want to thank you guys. We know you guys. Look, we've held you guys a long time. We got to finish doing some reading because we don't want that.
Absolutely. I know you guys have your thing to do. Big Sexy, author, Steve Lee, D'Angela, Michael Dean. And thank you everybody for supporting. And go to Nice. Doesn't even have to be with me. Go to Nice. Go off season. It's not expensive. There's different things going on. Music, festivals. Do go.
Well,
thank you guys.
Yes,
you can go by yourself, but it's better with Tammy and them. So that's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Go back.
I will co-sign that. I will co-sign that. Going with Tammy was a treat.
We're gonna have the links and everything next Saturday. We're gonna have the links up, and y'all can start linking up and working out for next year. So thank you guys again. Y'all know we love y'all. We thank y'all.
Who's at your bell, mama?
There you go. There we go. So that's French. Do you understand? So we're gonna let you guys go enjoy the rest of the day. And me and
thank you.
We're going to get this read. Y'all take care.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
That was great. That was great.
Fantastic.
All right, so what we're gonna do is just because there we go. So we're gonna see y'all. We asking y'all if y'all can hang out, give us 30-40 minutes. We're gonna try to finish this reading up in the next 30-40 minutes. And so we are on Wednesday, July 16th. Big Sexy, you want to take Wednesday, July 16th?
I'm up. I got it. Okay. Wednesday, July 16th, 1986. Yeah, you know. Cassette copy, neon telephone. Sign of the Times. I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man. New version. And I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man. New version. Instrumental mix. All right. We're going to kick off with the quote from Susan Rogers.
Yes.
Occasionally pull an old song out of the vault when we were working on what would become Sign of the Times album. He would call for things like Whether It Was Slow Love or I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man. Those were things that had been sitting in the vault for quite a number of years. Interesting. Before the main shift started, Prince requested a cassette copy of the latest mixes of Neon Telephone and Yeah, You Know. And after they were dubbed to a C60 tape, those are some cheap tapes, and picked up, there were several hours of downtime until Prince returned at 8 o'clock. When the full session started, he surprisingly asked for a tape he originally recorded on May 23rd, 1979, while working on his second album. Although Prince had a vast library of unreleased songs, he generally was forward-looking when it came to his new work. And his understood rule was his newest music was considered his best and deserved the most focus. But on occasion, he'd bend the rules according to Susan. Every once in a while, we'd be working, and he'd say, "Go out and get me one of those tapes," and we'd pull out and set up the tape and he'd listen for a bit, then put it away. It was very rare that he'd pull out an old one out of the closet and actually end up using it. That's why I was so surprised when he pulled out I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man and used it. Interesting. After reviewing the 16-track recording, Prince spent time in the studio by himself and reworked the entire song from scratch. The original track consisted only of drums, guitar, synth, and 9 layers of Prince vocals. The updated recording contained many of the same instruments, but also included the Lynn LM1 drum machine, and multiple new instrumental sections, including a searing solo. Nice. From 1 in the morning until 4, he sang the lead. He'd eventually invite Susan to join him on the background vocals, likely once he returned to Minneapolis. The original version ended with Prince singing, "I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man, but I'll try." Giving the song an optimistic view of the situation, he may not be the perfect man for her, but he'll try to make it work. The updated version omits the final 3 words, including a difference in his romantic outlook, as he has little interest in working out with the woman in the song. The contrast from his sound on the 1979 track to the version reimagined on this date, reflects his maturity and growth as an artist, as well as the quality of those he invited to work with him. He taught me his ear, explained Susan Rogers. He taught me what he was going for. He would get unhappy when there were things beyond anyone's control. He was a reasonable man. He understood if small stuff breaks, it breaks, but it would make him upset. But if you're doing the best you could, and he wasn't happy with it, he'd let you know. He'd kind of tease you about it. Other than that, he kept people around who would give him what he wanted.
Go to the status.
Go to the status. The 8-minute version of I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man underwent additional work before it found a home on the unreleased Dream Factory and Crystal Ball collections. The version officially released on Sign of the Times was identical to the Crystal Ball edit. It would be edited with a faded ending and released on November 3rd of 1987 as a fourth and final single, back with Hot Thing from Sign of the Times. The 1979 version, If I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man, was included in the Sign of the Times Super Deluxe in 2020. It's been 6 years already.
Right.
Damn.
So any thoughts on any of that, whether or the two versions of I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man? I listen to Prince chronologically, and I don't listen to songs. So I have playlists. So my playlists always include the album, the B-sides, the extended versions, and anything that was recorded during that time that didn't make the album. So that's how I listen to every Prince album. But I start with something I call original outtakes. And those are songs that we can date to somewhere between 76 and 78 that didn't make the For You album. So I have whatever I have that original version of I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man. I was surprised how sonically close it is to the original, although it's different. Looking back, listening to it, I was surprised at how much I liked it and how it's changed, but not as drastically changed as a lot of to me, it's closer to what it is than say what Tick Tick Bang became. If that makes sense. So it's really interesting that a song that old didn't get changed as much, but it's still a banger for me. And I'll also say it is one of the songs that if I'm making a list of songs of Prince's guitar abilities, that live version from Sign of the Times concert, that for me, I was just in awe the first time I saw that solo. So I'll shut up and say that. But so for me, it's one of those things that lives for me. What say you guys?
Well, I'm going to geek out a little bit on that. That is the definitive version for me, the live version, because the cloud guitars, now we're going to really geek out guitar-wise. The cloud guitars, he used EMG pickups. And I don't think he used EMGs on anything else. And they had that certain tone that you can hear throughout the recording of the film. And it doesn't sound like that on the record. But the live version is the definitive version of that song for me.
Brother Turnbull?
Yeah. A really cool thing about the 79 version. So I love the song. I feel like it along with When You Were Mine, it's just like a perfect song. And I think I think it's telling for me, like, oh, it was originally recorded, in the realm of when You Were Mine was, written and also recorded. I feel like there's a lot of DNA between the two songs. Another interesting thing about the 79 version is that he's not singing in falsetto. And so it's like an very early, read or listen to what his non-falsetto voice sounds like, the one that he really just continued, throughout the rest of his career after 1982. I I usually cringe when I find out that a song was like remade or reworked on, because I don't feel for me that he's got the greatest track record of doing that. The original version of Tick Tick Bang, I think, is so far superior than what was released on Graffiti Bridge, that when he said in what was it, 1998, that he was gonna re-record
the
entire catalog, I was, please don't.
Right. And not to stop you, because we all knew he wasn't gonna do him note for note. That was the problem. We all knew he was gonna change him. So go ahead.
Yeah. But one of the highlights for me for the Sign of the Times box is that we got the the original take of "I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man," and I think it's kind of a sleeper song for me on that album. Sign of the Times, a lot of people go to "If I Was a Girlfriend," the title song, Housequake, of course, the Ballad of Dorothy Parker. They're all beloved songs,
Right.
But "I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man," I don't think it got the shine that it deserved, even though it was a single. But I mean, it was the fourth single. It was it was the cleanup single.
And the solo was cut.
Yeah.
So they cut. Yeah. And I will say this. I don't. I was gonna say in real time I understood. I guess they was like, hey, if we show the solo, people won't get anything special with the movie. But then the reverse is, yeah, but that's the best goddamn part you just cut. So I was kind of, like, anyway, wait, I didn't want to interrupt you, but yeah. So, but like you say, it was at the end. It's the last single. People kind of turning their attention away. So I'm with you that I don't think it really got what it should have got.
Yeah. And Christina just put in the chat about Tick Tick Tang Bang on Timeless.
Right.
Yeah. If you've never heard that, just wait.
I will say this. What I love about those two, I love how different they are. So for people who haven't heard the original Tick Tick Bang, and Arthur Big Sexy will correct me because they'll be a little bit more proficient if I misuse this term. The original Tick Tick Bang is, to me, a true punk song. Or am I off base on that? Would it be considered a true punk song or not?
I can't answer that because I haven't heard it.
Okay. So
really?
Okay. So do you? So there you go. So do you think? Because for me, it's a punk song, and when I say punk, because I wouldn't call it ska, although I associate ska with being very fast. Yes. So that's why I wouldn't. But it lives somewhere between punk and ska, just because it's so fucking fast. You know what I'm saying? But so what you get is this really kind of punk song as an original, and then you get this really kind of funk thing. It's not a true funk thing, but it lives in kind of a funk space.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I love about it is it really like when I have them on my Graffiti Bridge playlist.
Right.
And so I get two songs for one, which is what I love. So that's what I love, is that I get two songs for one. So, but to Arthur's point, they are radically different. And if you fall in love with one, you probably not gonna love the other one, unless you're like me, that you like the fact that you get two songs for one. So yeah.
Graffiti Bridge version is phoned in compared to the original.
Okay, I just did a little search on my hard drives here, and on my collection of songs called The Work, don't ask, I see a Tick Tick Bang, and I see a Tick Tick Bang #2. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and with The Work, yeah, we'll just say if you know, with The Work. That's that. Yeah. When people heard you say The Work, they knew. Those who know. Yeah. So yeah, if you go through both of those, you'll have that original early version with 81 too.
Tick Tick May, 81,
yeah.
I think.
81, yeah. So you get the
it's got that, it's got that energy. It's got that, it does have that punk energy. I mean, especially if you switched out the keyboard with the guitar.
And and you correct me on this, I always think about the Rebels when I listen to the original.
Really?
Yeah, not wrong, for that at all. I think that a slight deviation. I'll be quick, but the whole punk funk thing, which was something that Rick James coined to define what he was doing, was the aesthetic that Prince had at that time. Right. That's who Prince really was. Yeah. And Rick tried to project that for the sake of messaging to the white rock audience to come to him that what he was doing was different, and to the core black audience that this was more of a kind of a radical funk, with teeth thing. But that was what Prince actually was. Right. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, and I hope people take that educationally and not a diss at Rick. Like I really hope people, because it's a really important point that you make about what was happening aesthetically at the time for both men, so that people truly understand what was happening and what makes what was going on so groundbreaking. I'm really glad you said that. Because Rick had, his first two albums, he had a Les Paul. The first was a photograph, the second was an illustration, but he had a Les Paul guitar. There wasn't a lead guitar on a Rick James album. Right. When he was on an early showing, not showing, but an early appearance on Soul Train, he had a white guitarist who had, and Big Sexy's got it up there, an Eddie Van Halen replica, Frankenstein replica, but he wasn't playing lead guitar. But when you saw Prince and he had Des Dickerson, that was it. That's right. And they didn't have to project anything. Exactly. They just were being. I like this because I know we're not gonna spend a lot of time, but I thank you, Eric, 8809. I love how Minnesota is a rare explicit nod to his home that shows he knows it well and loves it a lot. I'm glad you said that, because that's what I think about when I listen to I mean, it's a little, I don't skip it when it's on my playlist. It's not something I necessarily seek out, but I do. I'm glad he put that, Eric 8809 put that in there, that you're getting that Minnesota Prince, right? And I think there's someone would tell stories about Prince would prank call people from Paisley Park using that Minnesota accent, or people would call Paisley Park and Prince would answer with that Minnesota accent. All right, so we're gonna go to the next. I'm gonna
ask, what is a Minnesota accent? Huh? What is a Minnesota accent?
Louis, what's the comedian Louis? And I don't want to call him. No, not him. Kind of heavy set guy. Louis Anderson. Louis Anderson would be the perfect Minnesota accent. So if you remember the comedian Louis Anderson, he got in a little trouble, so I kind of hesitant bringing up. But Louis Anderson, it's. I'm not going to do, because I'll do it terribly. I would really do it.
You know what? Watch the first 20 minutes of the Coen Brothers film Fargo.
I know it.
There we go.
About that.
There you go.
I got it.
I'm from Minnesota, Like, see, I'm doing it terrible. But check right here, Big Sexy, LTKK. That is it, right? And somebody said it, right? Love Sexy said the movie Fargo would be a better example. There we go. So there we go. All right, very good, people. All right. So now, Brother Turnbull, I want you to read the next section, and I want you to read every word of it, because this song deserves it.
All right, join repetition.
Yes. We just gonna run along today. Go ahead. There you go. Get ready.
Thursday,
hold
July.
on. We sorry, Sister Christina. We sorry.
Thursday, July 17, 1986. Joy in repetition. Sunset Studio, 3:30 in the afternoon to 5:30 a.m. My man. All right, let me just go to the quote. When I heard the title Joy and Repetition, I had to laugh because it's like, dude, that is all we do all day long, the band playing for months. And that would be us because at rehearsal, we'd have grooves that would last literally hours. Lisa Coleman. For much of the month of July, Prince had Studio 3 at Sunset Sound on lockout, or more specifically, an exclusive claim to the studio. As happened many times in the past, Prince asked Coke Johnson to set up at 3 p.m. Half an hour later, Prince entered with a mission and started laying down the individual instruments, including live drums, guitar, bass, and the Fairlight. Shortly after 5 p.m., he shifted to embellishing the track with a variety of overdubs, including bongos and other percussion and more guitar. By midnight, Prince began his vocals, and as always, this was Prince's alone time. So he'd send the engineer to the lounge so he could record with complete privacy. We would set up his vocal mic and then leave the room, explained Rogers. He didn't want an engineer between him and that audience. He wanted to just sing to the listeners. Vocals can be the most personal time for a musician, and Prince lacked the ability to play with the vocals, layer them, bounce them back and forth, and sometimes creating multiple versions of his lead vocal. This was when Prince could make mistakes away from the eyes of the world. Some of those mistakes became great parts of songs, while others were for his ears alone. It wasn't uncommon for Prince to sit in the recording booth with a microphone hanging over the mixing board, the room lit only by candles, and the lights of the the room lit only by candles and the lights of the console. It is easy to imagine how the intimate mood of a song like Joy and Repetition was influenced by the dim lights and smell of candles. Once again, Prince created something on his own, and when he played it for Wendy and Lisa, the reaction was overwhelming. Oh my God, I loved that song because it was one of those songs where he nailed a lyric and a melodic marriage of harmonies. And I just thought it was one of his masterpieces, reflects Wendy. I just remember being so moved when I heard it. There's joy in repetition. I don't think anyone has used the word repetition in a song. And to me, that is an incredible hook. It was so beautiful. Well, it's more mature than everybody want what they don't got, jokes Lisa. He could be incredibly receptive, insensitive, and put all those things together. And when the music was good and it could really be magical like Joy and Repetition, that's really something. And it's thought provoking and easy on the ears. Bobby Z recognized that many of his tracks had a quality that made them unique. A lot of these songs may sound simple, 2-4 songs, but every measure has its own little world going on there. He would put accents on notes that were on the 3 or on traditional or cymbal crashes on the 4, things that were different, that will take study and we'll take analyzing for a long period of time. That's what we're doing. At 4 a.m, Prince and Coke worked on a rough mix of the song, and after an hour, they laid Joy and Repetition off to two C60 cassettes, ending the session at 5:30 a.m. Status: Joy and Repetition, 4 minutes 54 seconds, was released on Prince's 1990 album Graffiti Bridge. It was also included on his 2002 live compilation One Night Alone, The After Show, It Ain't Over, from his performance on April 10, 2002, and as a title download from his concert recorded on February 20, 2016. In addition, Prince included it as part of a video medley from his concert on August 3rd, 2007 that was streamed from 3121.com.
All right. I'm going to start this off by simply saying Joy and Repetition is the perfect poem married with the perfect guitar solo.
Mm-hmm.
When I first heard it, I had an album and a cassette together, and I was working in college, and I was a paralegal for a law firm, so I had to go somewhere to deliver some papers, Big Sex. I was actually going to go do some legal research, so I put it in, and Can't Stop comes on, and on my way back, fucking Joy and Repetition comes on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about 65. It was 1990, but I had a 1970s Chrysler Newport. I really thought I was Christopher. That big ass car. Like, I damn near had to pull over. So that was my experience with it, hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
And say what you will about, and when I say you, I mean just all those, say what we will about the movie. The joy and repetition sequence is one of the few times where the movie actually, the visual matches the intensity of the music. It is one of the few times where the visual gets right what the music is doing in that film. Right? If you think about that whole sequence. Not saying it's not corny, but it's there. And then finally, the One Night Alone, the It Ain't Over.
Mm-hmm.
I tend not to have favorite anythings because I know how things have moved me in my 40 years of being with Prince. The fact that in 2000, whatever, I could hear that and still be amazed by Prince. Like at some point, your favorite artist stops blowing your mind, right? At some point, this person is your favorite artist. You know they're great. You know they're a genius. And all I could think when I heard that solo, the introduction, he said, "Let us give us a second while we get warmed up."
Mm-hmm.
And he's just making magic. It took me back to being 6 years old the first time I heard B.B. King.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That this late in the game, Prince could still blow my mind. So joy and repetition on 3 separate moments have proven for me to be the perfect poem with the perfect guitar solo, and that solo that he played. In fact, the whole version of it. And I know this is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, but the bottom that Larry Graham lays on that damn live performance, I'm sorry. Like Larry Graham does something otherworldly. The bottom that he lays, that to me puts it, Larry Graham's bottom puts that solo on a pedestal in a way that if a guitar can talk to God, that was the moment it happened. I'll shut up talking and let y'all go.
Arthur?
So I was one of those people in 1989, I guess, who paid $100 for a particular copy of the Black Album and thought I actually had the Black Album for about 10 minutes.
Right.
And that was my introduction to bootlegs. I'd heard of them, but I never actually had one. And after that, I began to get into, this was before the internet. So, I mean, like Goldmine. There was a publication called Goldmine.
Yes, wait a minute. Yes. You had a lot of bootlegs out of Goldmine. Keep going.
Yeah, and it would be like a little ad, send a self-addressed stamped envelope and a check for $25 to this address, and you'd get cassettes. So I did that, and I got a cassette that was Prince songs, the list of which I had never heard of before. And there were a section of the songs that we're talking about. And Joy and Repetition was on this tape. It opened with Crystal Ball / Expert Lover.
Right.
It had If You Break My Heart One More Time, Girl of My Dreams, Weekend Funk. It just, it had had all the greatest hits, right? And I'm telling you,
the one with the black cover and Prince is kind of
the Black Album one.
No, okay, no, but the boot you had that you thought was the Black Album.
No, the boot was like a TDK.
Okay. Oh, you had the TDK. Okay.
In a letter with a checklist on it.
Yeah, because what you're describing, I had the CD version of it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And you got to figure, like, because you're talking about, when an artist blows your mind, and to have all of this on tape and not have any, because I thought I was deep. You know what I mean? Like, like I thought I knew about Prince stuff.
Right.
But now I had the golden ticket, but I knew none of this material.
Right.
And none of this material, listening to it in my mind, fit anywhere in his catalog. It was like, when did he record this? What was it supposed to be on? What B-side pool was he pulling? Was this not being pulled from? You know what I mean? And I think for Joy and Repetition in particular to be released on a commercial album on Graffiti Bridge was almost a gift for regular people to really see the breadth and the range of this artist. This before you get into the fact that Graffiti Bridge also has a question view on it.
Right.
It was a real knockout punch for me. And it's really at the root of why me personally, regardless of having grown up in this period, but why I am so steeped in the first decade of his career. It's because we have all of this material that either directly or indirectly informs material over the next 20 to 25 years of his career, thereafter. It's just a really beautiful song. And I'm starting to go off the rails. So
real quick question before we get to Big Sexy. And this is a reverse engineering question, and just quick answer. Because when you mention Question to You and Joy and Repetition is on this album, and then you think about what else is on that album. And I'm separating the movie for a moment. Having done the reverse of Purple Rain, do you think that this album is hurt by having time songs on it because it makes it feel fragmented and cluttered? Or is that just a non-factor for you? Because I would have, if I would have preferred it, I would have preferred it like he did the Purple Rain. I would have preferred all the time songs be on Pandemonium. And I think that if you put all the time songs on Pandemonium, then you get a real clear picture of just how strong all these Prince songs are without those time songs on it. And again, I want to be clear. I like Release It, by the way. I like the songs, but when I play those songs, I play those time songs on Pandemonium so I can hear the Prince songs. Now there's a question: what do I do with Round and Round? What do I do with Melody Cool? And so some other things. So just and I say a quick answer. My question, one damn quick. Do you think that having the time songs and those other songs on there really keep people from hearing how magical those Prince songs are?
I do. And I think when I think of, like you said, Purple Rain, he had the Prince stuff there. Ice Cream Castles had the time stuff. Apollonia Sex had their stuff. Fine. Now, if he was going to do a triple album, he should have done all three of them. But since he didn't, that's the way he did it. And that's fine. With this, the time stuff should have been on Pandemonium or Corporate World. And it should have included Murph Drag, too.
Yep.
I'd put that in there. Now, as far as the Mavis and Tevin stuff and George, what's wrong with the single?
Right.
Extended single. There it is. You can only get it here. Boom.
Right.
Because back in the day, how else did you get Erotic City?
Yep.
Single. That's it.
Yep. So anything about Joy and Repetition before we go on to Friday, Big Sexy? And thank you for that. And thank you for the extended author. I just want to. I think that you put all that in context for it. So thank you for that.
You know, I haven't listened to it in a while, but now you guys talking about the guitar solo on it, so I got to fire that up today. And one other thing that really just popped in my head is I keep ripping Prince. Well, I don't say ripping, but I keep giving him a hard time about the C60 cassettes. Back in college, that's what made me a music snob. Trademark Arthur Turnbull. And the thing is, once I learned about the high bias tapes and then the metal tapes, and then I got a Nakamichi player, it's like I don't buy commercially recorded cassettes anymore.
SA90.
Thank you. I was all MAX. That was me. With the little metal frame. Yeah. And I would get my Nakamichi CR4 tape deck, and people would come over to my place with a pre-recorded Sign of the Times tape. I'm like, no. We're not doing that. We'll play my version on the metal cassette and just blow it away. So that's what all started for me. And so getting to join repetition, as we wrap it up today, I'm going to go to the main salon at the Bat Cave and fire it up. See what's going on.
So I love his energy. He Big Sexy, he's the cat that when you pull the vinyl out, he blow on it first.
Right, exactly. You know what? Big Sexy remind me of my father. My father would take his albums out and he'd look at me like, "This your fingerprint, boy?" And of course, I'm scared shitless because it was my fingerprint, right?
Yeah.
So, Brother Timber, I didn't get your answer. Do you think that the having the non-Prince songs on the Graffiti Bridge album, maybe Prince trying to make up for what he did with Purple Rain, do you think it keeps people from really hearing how good those Prince songs are, or do you think it's just a non-factor?
No, I agree. I think the most, if not all, the additional material watered the album down, stood in the way of, and even of course in the CD era, you could skip through. Right. But still, just taking the album as a whole, I think there was a lot of good material on there. And there were maybe 3-4 songs that were holdovers.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm sorry, the time's late, so I'll be quick. But if you take the interview that he gave to Rolling Stone, the second Neil Carlin interview that he gave to Rolling Stone, when he was talking about Graffiti Bridge, and you take his material on Graffiti Bridge, but then you put in the fact that Warner was trying to turn what was really a musical, musical theater, into the sequel of Purple Rain, I think that slant is what did the most damage,
to
Graffiti, to the project as a whole.
All right, so we're going for thank you for telling me this, Terrorizing Lies. I did not notice that the talk that I gave doing Purple Takeover, and for those that don't know, Purple Takeover happens in New Orleans at the same time as Celebration. So if you can't make it up to Celebration, Purple Takeover happens in New Orleans with DJ Sister Souls, oh my God, I forgot my sister's name, Sister Webb, DJ Soul Sister. And she is also an archivist at Tulane University. So she's a very heady sister, but she does a Purple Takeover every year in New Orleans. And so I've given a couple of talks there. I did not know that Brother Ted also gave a Joy and Repetition show. So I'm going to have to hit up Brother Ted to see if we can find it. All right, so let's go to Friday. And Big Sexy, you want to tell us about the Dream Factory on Friday?
All right, Dream Factory album, Adjustments to the Order, Crossfades Mix, Sunset Sound Studio 3, 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 a.m. Damn. Book Total Lockout, Prince, producer, artist Prince, engineer Coke Johnson. We recorded a whole bunch of songs, and if they ended up all together on one tape or something, it seemed like that at that point, fans started naming the collections. I don't know if it was chicken or the egg kind of thing. We'll just end up referring to it as that. I know he did have some things Like Dream Factory was a concept. I think it was looking for things that would fit that. Not everything did, but it would still maybe end up on that compilation that was from Lisa Coleman. Prince has been assembling the tracks he wanted to include in the updated configuration for Dream Factory. For the first 2 hours of the session, Prince continued working on several of the songs, but at 9:30 p.m. he left the studio for 5 hours. It is possible that he drove around listening to the new structure. If that's the case, he was not happy with what he heard to spend another 6 hours reworking the order and creating segues for several of the tracks. At the end of the session, Prince had 2 C90 cassettes and 2 C60 cassettes made of this assembly, which consisted of side 1, Visions, Dream Factory, Train, Ballad Dorothy Parker, and It. Side 2, Strange Relationship, Starfish and Coffee, Colors, Slow Love, I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man. Side 3, Sign of the Times, A Place in Heaven, Crystal Ball. And side 4, The Cross, Last Heart, Witness for the Prosecution, Movie Star, and All My Dreams. This will be the last configuration of Dream Factory, as it will transform over the next few months into Crystal Ball and eventually Sign of the Times. With 18 songs gathered from this assembly, only 8 would make the final cut and will be released on the next album. Wow.
So, I mean, we've all had discussions about Dream Factory, Crystal Ball, then Sign of the Times. I'll admit I'm prisoner of the moment, so I think Sign of the Times is perfect. I think that it's difficult. Like, I'm not one of those people who like I've never been definite to say, oh, if this song would have been on, if that song. I mean, because we all understand that art, particularly music, is as much about the moment as it is about the thing. Mm-hmm. So it's almost impossible. Like, okay, and I'll give you an example. And I'm not hating on these people. I also think that 1999 is a perfect album, right? Mm-hmm. I am not one of those people, but then again, I like the song Free. I know that there are a lot of people who don't like the song Free. And I know that there are a lot of people who would rather prefer Moonbeam Levels to Free. Okay. You like what you like, right? So, but I just think it's difficult to say, hey, if you were to say that because we don't know how music and things work. I'm saying all that to say that the only thing that would have been interesting to me if Prince would have had a cachet for Sign of the Times to be a triple album instead of a double album, right? I'm not going to say that certain songs should have been removed and certain songs should be replaced. So rather than saying that, I would say that I would like to have seen what would happen if Prince would have had the cachet, because I would have liked to have seen Dream Factory and Crystal Ball released in real time. And I'm wondering what would a Sign of the Times have been with Dream. So that's my take on it. Not remove one for the other. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If we could have been lucky enough. But and you guys don't have to, because we talked about this ad done. You don't have to feel a need to comment on what I said. Just on whatever you want to say about this configuration of Dream Factory, and or what you like to say about how we got from that to Sign of the Times. Go. I'll shut up.
Arthur, go for it.
You know, I think the road to Sign of the Times is a fascinating one, because the arc from Dream Factory to Crystal Ball to Camille to land on Sign of the Times, which was probably his greatest editing technique that he's ever pulled off.
Yes.
I really believe it was all the same album to him. Like it was just all the same thing. And I don't know if this is going to sound crazy even for me to say. I don't know if I would want a 3 album. I don't know if I'd want an album Prince album with 3 discs, and I know we got one with Emancipation,
right?
But I don't rock with all 3 of those discs. You know, you know,
right?
I've got one assembly of the masterpiece within those 3 discs. You know,
okay.
And I think that's what happened actually for Sign of the Times, was there was like this editing down and this mastery of, I mean, looking at you, Slow Love, but the mastery of those songs fitting together, you know, in a package. Because some of the stuff on here, man, just it would like really just blow people's minds. Could you imagine if this was a Revolution record?
Right. Right. Right.
It's like, how does the rest of his career go?
Right. And I definitely think that you would have seen people would probably see the Revolution in a whole different light. Maybe even Fleetwood Mac-esque. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm guessing. I'm just throwing out something. But so yeah, go ahead, Brick Sex. I don't want to step on you, but I agree with everything you said, Brother Turnbull. Except for the fact that I'm greedy. I want all 3. But go ahead.
You know, I agree, but there are 2 things going on at that time too. One, you know, is this going to be a Revolution album, or is it going to be a Prince album? See, right there, we got a problem, because I'm looking at the lineup here. If it's a Prince album, All My Dreams and Place in Heaven, gotta go. There's too much Wendy Lisa in that for a quote unquote Prince album. If it's a Revolution album, yeah, leave it in there. And again, 3 is too much. 3 is too much. You know,
okay.
2 was great because he established 2 with Sign of the Times with 1999.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in my opinion, Purple Rain should have been 2 as well, because you could have stuck the long versions of Let's Go Crazy on there, and a lot of things that were in the movie that weren't on the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
They could have done that. And so you have those 2 things, plus you have the label with blowback, because it turned in 3, and they're like, no, we're not doing 3.
Right.
We're doing 3 is too much.
Right.
And initially I'm like, no, it ain't. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. You know, you could do the 2 and have the 3rd one as like a special. You know, have like if you want this, great, but if you're really down, you want that too.
But see, that's what Camille was supposed to be.
See, yeah,
right.
Now that broke my heart to find out that was actually going to be an album, and it never happened. That actually broke my heart.
Right.
Prince, as in full character, full on concept, would have just been magical.
It definitely would have ramped up the Prince David Bowie comparisons, right? It definitely would have. Now I will say, you know, during the symbol phase, Prince actually, well, you know, speaking in 3rd person during the symbol phase, he says that Prince was an excellent editor. So I like when you said editor, Turnbull. Like, so Prince himself was aware of there was a time in his career when he was a better editor. And for folks like Brother Turnbull, who, you know, and would argue that maybe what makes that 80s era so special to a lot of people is because we got the best editor. Do you think that Prince being a really good editor is also one of the reasons that heightens that for you, Brother Turnbull, or no?
Oh no, I absolutely do. And I think Rodney in the chat was talking about just the continuity of things. Like, he was really big on sequencing, and I think he was, you know, really in his bag in the early Warner Brothers years, you know, for that.
So go ahead.
No, I mean, you know, just curating a project. It's like a curation of it, and I wonder why he did not do that for Emancipation. That's for another time. It's for another symposium that's coming up in November.
Right.
But I have thoughts. But, you know, I I wonder why he did not do that, and if it was, and if he, let me say it this way: emancipation is when Prince becomes an independent artist, and he instantaneously becomes the biggest independent artist in the market.
Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
He does intend for Sign of the Times to be a 3-disc record, and then gets pushback from Warner Brothers. And there's a great story about that on on the official podcast, the story of the Sign of the Times Deluxe by the wonderful journalist whose name totally escapes me, from Minneapolis. But so he's forced to remove a full set of songs, 6 to 8 songs, out of this project, and I think that he really rose to the challenge to be able to deliver Sign of the Times for what it is, because it is in fact his most critically acclaimed album and fairly agreed upon masterpiece. I think he's got like 5 of them, but I'm just saying everybody pretty much coalesces on the fact that, oh yeah, this is the magnum opus in the Prince
one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You don't get much pushback. I was trying to find the sister's name that I have a book. I love her book. I couldn't.
Andrea Swinson.
There we go. Andrea Swinson. And so I'm gonna put this up, not to argue with brother Rodney, just to give 2 different points, because it says Sign of Time in parts were the revolution. I'm in the camp where Sign of Times is a Prince record with only 2 songs that have revolution parts. So that's like, I see Sign of Times as a Prince record, and Gonna Be a Beautiful Night, and I always forget what the second song is that has Wendy and Lisa stuff on it. But I do know that there are other people who see Sign of Times with a little bit more notion of revolution-esque things on it. But for me, Sign of Times is a complete break from the revolution, and you really only have the live is Going to Be a Beautiful Night, and I don't know why I'm blanking on that second song that has is a Strange Relationship.
Yeah,
there we go. Strange. Thank you, Rockabosh.
Song too.
Yeah, and just for the fact that I love this song, Rodney, just for the fact that I love this, I love Billy Jack Bitch. I've always loved Billy Jack Bitch. All right, so one more reading. Want to close us out, Big Sexy?
Saturday, June 19th, July 19th, 1986. Slow Love Mix, Train Mix, Sunset Sound, Studio 3 assumed, booked for another lockout. Sunset Sound was making dollars. Woo. Producer Prince, artist Prince, engineer the Dr. Susan Rogers. We'd show up and we never knew what Prince was going to do. Maybe starting a new song, doing a 12-inch, or sometimes he would pull something out of the vault. Todd Harriman. Prince and Susan worked on new mixes for Slow Love and Train. These updated mixes were placed on the Dream Factory collection. That's it. And now I say that if the updated paperback has something after that, I can't help you.
It is like you said, placed on the Dream Factory collection. That's where it ends. So 2 quick things. I know I'm the rare Slow Love lover. There are 2 reasons why I love Slow Love, and I mentioned this. It was funny, Big Sex. I know you was here. Prof Duff had never heard of the VFW, so she didn't know about the VFW. And she didn't know about, she like, people in the chat were like, you heard of VFW, so she had never heard. But so Slow Love is what I call VFW music. It is old R&B belly rubbing music. But also what I love about Slow Love, it was the song that made me stop hating on Ari Leeds.
Whoa! You got a problem with Eric?
Yeah. I always thought that Eddie M should have gotten the job.
But Eddie M was with Sheila.
I thought Eddie M should have gotten the job. When I saw what Eddie M did at the Purple Rain show, when I saw what Eddie M did in the America video, I thought Eddie M should have gotten the job. So when Eric Leeds fucking showed up at the Hard Player, I had an issue. And as much as I was loving Sign of the Times, the concert movie, I was kind of looking at, and then them bastards did Slow Love. And I'm gonna say it again for the 1,000th time. In all of Prince's career, his vocal dance with Eric Lee's horn playing is the greatest vocal instrument dance Prince has ever done. That for Prince, it is in fact, it is to me what leads to, although it's not a vocal thing, it is what leads to what Prince and Eric does on Blues and C on the Love Sexy tour. So that moment in the film, Prince's vocal and Eric Leeds' horn playing are just magical to me. And that's why Slow Love will always have a place for me. But I also want to add this. Thank you, Sister Tammy. I love both Prince's version of Train and I love Mavis Staples' version of Train. In fact, Paisley Park releases, non-Prince Paisley Park releases. For me, the two George Clinton albums and then Mavis Staples' album, those are my top three non-Paisley Park. So Train has a place in my heart just simply because I love both those versions. I'll shut up and see if you guys want to say anything about Eagle Soul Love or Train as we get ready to close out.
Well, how are you gonna clown Eric, man?
I want to be clear. I wasn't clowning Eric. I want to be clear. I wasn't clowning Eric. I just thought, look, I'm sorry. What Eddie M does on Temptation, I don't understand how you don't get the job. What Eddie M did at the end of Temptation, he should have gotten the job. But, so that's not me saying that Eric, I overlooked, I underrated, I did not know, but goddamn it, when he blew on in the movies in real time, I'm like, oh, that's why. Here's what I said, Big Sex. Now I'll let you go. Oh, that's why Prince is always right. that was my moment. I was like, okay, go ahead, Big Sex. I'm sorry.
Now, also on that topic, my main squeeze, Miss Candy Dulfer. She's all, I told Prince I could play better than Eric. I'm like, baby, slow your roll. Slow your roll. Candy's great, but Eric is in a world by himself. And that goes for Kathy Jensen, too. The other sax player. So it's like, let Eric do his thing. It's, he's fantastic. And I'm sure both of you, I know Arthur has it. The Small Club Second Show bootleg. You guys got that? Yeah. Eric and Atlanta Bliss with a horn, with a trumpet and a sax, they turn it out on House Queen. Yeah. Turn it out.
Well, here's the thing. Fun fact, but Eric is not at that show.
You're right.
That's all Atlanta.
Right. Eric's at home chilling. That's right. And it was all Bliss, and he lit it up. But when they were together, they would light it up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, one quick thing. Rockabosh, my point was just Prince stuff. I wasn't comparing it to Prince and
here you go, Rocker.
Other people. Like, I wasn't comparing it to other people. So, the whole, the Philip Bailey reasons with Don Merrick, like, that's a whole nother. I was talking about just Prince's vocals and Prince's vocals with a musical duet with somebody else. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about in the Prince universe. I wasn't talking about like though. I wanted to make that clear. So yeah, but definitely shout out to Reezy. Oh, and by the way, and Tammy, Tammy did ask me for this. She wanted me to play Eric Leeds To Whom It May Concern jam. The problem is, as I had to tell her, that unfortunately I don't have the Brother Dean or Prof Duff set up, so I couldn't do it. But yes, so she did. Thank you, Tammy, for reminding us, so we could really see just how great Eric was. Any other thoughts on these two before we go?
Where's that song located?
Spotify. Email me and I'll send you the link.
Spotify, damn Spotify. It's on one of Eric's albums.
Let me. I have to pull it up. Because Sister Tammy sent it to me as a link, so I wasn't as familiar with it.
Spotify.
All right, so let's go. Let's go.
I know. I admit it.
Let me see here. Let's get ready to go. Whoops, wrong one. There we go. All right, Purple World. Speaking of Eric Lee's, and we want to thank all of y'all who stayed with us. We are over 3 hours. We're going to try to finish in 3 hours and 30 minutes. So we got 15 minutes to finish up. All right, so Eric Lee's in Atlanta Bliss. Atlanta Bliss. The 11th annual Paisley Park Midwest Party honoring the legacy of Prince. That's going to be August 21st to the 23rd.
Damn, I would go to that.
Wait a minute. You know what? There's shoot. I don't know why it's not showing up, but before we get to Sister Jackie, the sister that Sister Tammy mentioned, Miss O, passed, and so Prof Duff, there should be a slide here, and I don't know why. All the slides work perfectly when I was going through, but her slide is not there. So the sister that we just lost in the Prince world and the Purple world that we all know and love, Miss O, that should be a slide for her GoFundMe. So we want to give a shout out to her and her family, and thoughts and prayers to her and her family. Also, we want to remember Sister Jackie. She has a GoFundMe, and we want and all these people who worked and did so great. Wait a minute, and thank you, Sister Christina. It's on Eric's album Now and Again. There we go. Thank you, Sister Christina.
Cool.
All right. So Sister Jackie, and for those of you who don't know, Sister Jackie was like Prince's right-hand woman. She handled a lot of stuff as publicist and PR, and she was really instrumental in a lot of things that were happening at that time. Also, we want to keep Brother Rich Benson in the prayers for losing his wife, Sarah. So he has a GoFundMe. Also, Sister Addie Durant, for those of you who remember the Purple Rain reading on Clubhouse, she was part of the Purple Rain reading on Clubhouse. So we want to, reach out to her. And as I always say, it doesn't matter how much you give. It doesn't matter if it's $5, $10, $1. Look, if enough of us giving $1, it all works. Brother Troy, he's doing much better, but there's still expenses. So we want to also look out for Brother Troy and all his great. And with Brother Troy, you can either donate or you could buy some of his stuff, right? Buy some of Brother Troy's stuff. The Le Petit Prince. I wish I had Sister Tammy up so she could get the French right. There we go. Hold on for a second. Wait a minute, brother. Wait a minute, brother. There we go. Hold it back up, Big Sexy. There we go. All right, now hold yours up, Brother Turnbull. There we go. So that's Brother Troy. So if you want to, Brother Troy, you can buy some, buy all of his great stuff. And of course, Dr. Funkenberry, one of those people that's out there doing that work for us. We want to keep him uplifted up in prayers and donate to him as well. And also there's Dickinson. I've told this story before, Big Sex. I don't know if you've heard this story. For my Prince book, I had an interview with Dez set up. His wife had talked to me. I talked to his wife like an hour and a half on the phone. We set up the interview for like either the next day or 2 days later, and I fucking forgot the interview. So Dez Dickinson should have been interviewed for the lyrics of Prince. I just fucking forgot the interview. And show you how young and dumb I was, and was too embarrassed after I realized that I missed the call. I was just too ashamed. I was just too ashamed to call and say, hey, I missed the interview, and even apologize. And so you talk about getting older and growing up and maturing. Like today at 50 something, I would have been like, hey, my bad, I forgot. But yeah, in my 20s, I was just too ashamed to even call back and say I forgot. But shout out to Brother Dez. So please donate. Right, there we go. And brother, sister, Prof Duff, she always curates the playlist. So everything that was discussed, all the songs, everything, click the link, and you can get all of the songs. And sometimes she'll go back and add certain things. We want to always remember Pretty Ricky. We want to give love and prayers to his family, and just know that he's missed. He'll never be forgotten. And I love if you want to donate to Crohn's and the Colitis Foundation. I just wait a minute. Okay, so I thought there was another picture. There was usually a picture with Ricky and his family.
Yeah, at Paisley.
At Paisley.
Yeah.
And then but brother Ricky, want to give a shout out to him. And then that gets us to the end. We want to thank all you guys. First of all, we want to thank Sister Tammy and Sister Drea Dances for coming up and for sharing their trip with us. Thank you, Sister Tammy, for sharing that. Once again, I want to thank Big Sexy and Brother Turnbull for coming on and having your brothers back, because I couldn't do this by myself. I'm still always nervous about doing this. I want to thank the people in the chat. You guys show me so much grace and so much patience and so much love, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like I ain't gonna front.
No, man, excellent job. We didn't get the Jeff drop in.
There you go. We
started on time.
We didn't have to eat no cake, So, I'm gonna throw it to you first, Big Sexy, and then I'm gonna let Brother Turnbull take us out. So, Big Sexy, what do you want to say to the people?
As we were talking today, Victor Kiriakis was mentioned, as was Days of Our Lives, and that made me think a few years ago, the woman who plays Anna Devane from General Hospital was here in town, and I went to go see her. Just me. And the thing is, all of us, I'm looking at you in the chat too, all of us need to take some time and take a moment just to do something for us, for yourself, And so when I went to go meet the actress, her name is Finola Hughes, and I got to the line and I was last because I wanted to be last. And they introduced me and she turned around, "Oh, you're the lawyer?" I said, "Oh, yes, I am." And she was so nice. And again, it was just something for me.
Right.
And it helps to recharge my batteries. I highly recommend everyone do the same. And yeah, I will never get off ripping prints on the C60 tapes. Never.
Brother Turbo, take us home.
All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you all for hanging in with us. This has been like a Prince after show episode, 3.5 hours long. My name is Arthur. This has been What Did Prince Do This Week, episode 181. We will see you here next Saturday. Thank you very much. Celie, excellent job. Everyone have a wonderful week.
And we out.